This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D Show.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
This is Max Headroom, and what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever.
Live from the Raw Radio X studios in downtown Detroit, this is the IT in the D Show.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Dig you IT geeks. This is Dre DeMatteo from Sons of Anarchy. You are listening to IT in the D.
So what happens when you tap the angry beaver in the bunghole?
Exactly.
Come on.
Someone tries. To hell with this. I'm calling a break. We'll come back to the show.
Just where do you guys think you are?
The Library of Congress?
Detroit? Beyond the sun?
Any of those right?
Hi, I'm Ernie Hudson, and you're listening to IT in the D. All you nerds out there.
Nerds.
Nerds!
What is a nerd?
What's up, everybody? This is Billy Zapka. Sweep the leg. Listening to IT in the D Show. No mercy.
So you have no boots.
No.
You have no gloves.
No.
You have no hat.
No.
You have no scarf.
No.
You have no scraper.
No.
How long have you lived in Michigan?
All my life.
You, sir, are an idiot.
I don't care.
How much scotch did you drink that night, by the way?
Half a bottle.
Okay, then shut the hell up.
Hi, this is Martin Cove, John Kreese from the Karate Kid movie, and you're listening to IT in the D.
Yes, Sensei!
This is a bad idea.
Hey guys, it's Ty Mogg, Bruce Leroy from The Last Dragon. You're listening to the IT&D Show.
I may have to wipe the geek off.
Hi, I'm Brittany Daniel from The Game, and you're listening to IT in the D Show.
Hey, Jerry Slater. Hey, Jerry Slater. It's really good. Hey, Jenny Slater.
The dirt monster is in full effect here.
Take him to Detroit.
No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Anything but that! No!
I used to hang out at the Magumbo Bar. It was a rough place, the seediest dive on the wharf, populated with every reject and cutthroat from Bombay to Calcutta. It's worse than Detroit.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Then don't come. Shut up.
This is Robert Hayes, Ted Stryker to my mother. When I'm not hanging out at the Magumbo Bar, I'm listening to the IT and the D Show. It's worse than Detroit.
Guess Captain Soundboard doesn't know how to run the soundboard.
Shut up. Stop talking.
I don't know who brought that bell in, but Bob's got a new toy.
Is there such thing as a meat hangover?
I love my Monday meat stick.
Turn your microphone off. Just get out.
Hey, folks, this is WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're listening to the IT in the D Show. Tough guy. Ho!
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
The question isn't what are we going to do. The question is what aren't we going to do.
Ludicrous speed! Go!
On behalf of all of us here at the IT and the D Show, we would like to wish you a very, very happy holidays, whatever it is that you celebrated. Hopefully, you had an amazing time with friends and family. This is episode 72, the pre-New Year's Eve edition.
It's the end of the year as we know it, and we feel fine.
I feel good. No, it's good.
Happy Christmas Kwanzaa.
And Festivus.
And Festivus. For the rest of us.
No, REM sang it wrong. It's the end of the world, and I feel good. It's not fine.
No, it's fine.
Should have been good.
Call up Michael Stipe.
This is I will right now. You guys' number. This is episode 72 of the IT and the D Show. We're sitting here in the Raw Radio X studios in the Russell Industrial Center in beautiful Midtown Detroit, Michigan. As always, the show is hosted to you by Mr. Monday Night, Bob the Sales Guy, Dave the Geek, Jeff the Voice of Reason. We have a awesome studio guest tonight. We have Eric here from the ERSA group talking about our favorite subject, data security. Welcome, sir. First timer.
Thank you for having me.
And we have a repeat offender, Jeremiah, here from Daily Detroit.
Hello.
Thanks for hanging out again. Episode 72. Episode 71, I must say, we hit a record, almost 200,000 listeners.
It was going up on Christmas Day.
Going up on Christmas Day by the hour.
So all of you bored
pains in the ass that are out there. As Jeff likes to say, we officially have more ratings on our Facebook page as a place than we do as an iTunes podcast. I'm just saying.
Well, we got like 10x from SoundCloud, mostly.
Right?
Yeah.
SoundCloud's it's just blowing up.
It's crazy. I'm not going to complain.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, I was
unreal.
looking at sitting around with family Christmas Day, and I'm like, stats are going through the roof. What is happening?
People just want Bob for Christmas.
Well, you know what? It's funny. We had a friend from that moved to New Orleans, and she was like, I had to have my Bob and Dave fix. I turned on the podcast in the background because I miss home. I'm like, that's kind of
Aww.
I know, right?
And she misses my laugh. We miss Mel.
Yeah, we do. It's all good. So what in the hell are you guys having? Obviously, you guys had a good Christmas. We all have little kids, so I mean, I don't think you could ever have a bad Christmas.
No, Christmas was great. Other than in our house we're battling the flu, but I think we're over it now. So
Santa didn't bring my 10-year-old an iPhone, so it was the worst day ever.
I gotta ask, do you guys have the elf before Christmas?
Oh, absolutely.
The elf on the shelf.
Yeah, we're
in the drawer.
Yeah, we're treating our kids to be NSA surveillance for the rest of their lives. Yeah.
Shut up with that.
The last 2 years, my
I
wife
say
said
it
she
in
was gonna be the
jest
elf.
because that's so stupid.
I put a stormtrooper in the toilet.
It's funny because it's true.
Absolutely, it is true.
No, I put a stormtrooper in the bathroom, so I had a trooper on the pooper. So that's our new tradition of the.
I wrote a little note to the kids this year. So when they went to go open their presents, we actually did it the day before Christmas on Christmas Eve morning. We did our opening the presents. But I wrote a little note saying that Django the Elf is looking forward to coming to the house next year.
Awesome.
So we're stuck. We have to have Django the Elf show up for next year.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, once you do it once, you can't not do it the next year.
Well, we didn't do it this year, but I wanted to do it this year, but my wife would not buy the elf. So I wrote the little note saying Django will be here next year.
DJ A&G-O or J-E-N-G-O?
like Django Fed or like Django Unchained?
Yeah. The funny thing is,
I heard it as Django Fett, so that's just a geek in me.
I was thinking of both at the same time. It was like a weird, dark-colored, Boba Fett.
Like, so the elf hooks up with the Barbie, and then it's Black Snake Moan, and then...
the whore in the drawer,
Someone's listening right now from Lucasfilm. So, you know what? Maybe we should do a spin-off.
Well, I'm sure you saw the meme I posted on the Facebook page that, there was the top is Elsa going, oh my God,
yes.
she turns things frozen. And then the bottom is, Professor X going, let me tell you about my school. Disney does own both franchises.
That's going to happen.
Please, God, no.
Well, the whole Frozen.
Would you like to build some X-Men?
Well, the whole Frozen franchise already crossed over into the Once Upon a Time TV show.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of crappy movies, did any of you clowns watch the interview this week?
No, absolutely
Thank you.
not.
All right, we can still be friends. That I can't believe people fell for that hook, line, and effing sinker.
You predicted that 7 days ago. Right now.
That I was going to get released online on Christmas.
Absolutely.
Well, guess what I found out?
I was going to say, and what's the new conspiracy theory?
No. This is not a conspiracy theory because it was said.
It's actually been proven out.
So, hold on. My conspiracy theory is that Sony did this. This was all planned.
Deliberately. Yeah.
So it was completely deliberate to test the bounds of digital distribution, right? They want to get rid of the middleman because when they go to theaters, right, when they go to, Cinemark or what's the MJRs? Not Cinemark.
AMC.
Whatever.
Yeah.
They do a 50-50 split where the theater gets 50, they get 50, right? If they go digital distribution, Sony gets 70% of those revenues.
Wow.
So even though this thing it made exactly what they thought it was going to make. It made $30 million. Even though double the people pulled it from torrent, it still generated the same amount of revenue.
I still don't understand how it generated $30 million in revenue.
From people bought it in Google Play, $6 or $15 to own.
You can get it on iTunes now for free, isn't it?
No. It's $6 to rent, $15 to own on Google Play.
Oh, okay. So they are charging for it.
Yeah,
now.
and I think it went out on YouTube, but it was a pay-per-view on YouTube. If I'm not
mistaken.
YouTube used it.
Well, I mean, it's free on torrent, but so is everything.
Wait, YouTube had a pay-per-view?
Right. You got to see it in Russian subtitles with a shaky camera hand.
YouTube was actually able to prove that people will pay for videos on YouTube with this. It's been actually a turning point for them that I think is going to. People, I think, are going to end up renting videos off of YouTube soon. I think it's going to be one of those things.
This is a trial balloon, then.
Yeah, exactly what it is. It's the perfect trial balloon. There's tons of buzz about it.
But they made a bullpucky to do this. Why don't they just say we're going to release this via digital distribution?
That isn't as compelling.
compelling my ass. I don't
because they didn't get all the people going. I gotta watch it because America
support America. I ain't letting no damn.
It's about
terrorists.
getting people into the habit. Once they get into the habit, they'll do it again.
Did you hear about the story that broke today that somebody bought like 50 tickets to go see it in the theater and is like bitching that he wants a refund because now it's available for free online?
Who buys 50 tickets?
Who buys 50 tickets?
Osama bin Laden.
Dupa. Nobody does. I go on Movie Phone, but it'll be like for the movie like in an hour.
Hello and welcome to Movie Phone.
Exactly.
Yeah, didn't that
guy
guy
tell
die?
me the movie you want to dial?
What?
Didn't the Movie Phone voice guy die?
Yeah, they made a movie about him.
What?
With it was called like
They made a movie about the Movie Phone guy.
Yeah, Lake Bell did it. I watched it the other day. It was a horrible movie.
As it should be.
Dude, that's so meta. It's not even.
I know.
funny.
Like who's next? It was God bless
In a
it.
World.
Yeah, no, it was called In a World.
Was it really?
Was it really? Yeah, it was In a World. It was.
Are you kidding me?
Lake Bell wrote it. Who I don't have a crush on or anything. I just know that she wrote it and starred in it. That's not why I watched it.
Any relation to Kristen Bell?
No.
Just
yeah, it was about
Bell.
like the next voiceover. Like, so she was trying to be like the next voice. They're like, you can't. You're a girl. And it's like, well, screw you. I'm going to do it anyway. It was a horrible movie, but I watched it anyway. Kind of like people that watched the stupid interview this week. It was a horrible movie, but they watched it anyway.
I want nothing to do with that stupid movie.
You know what I think's the funniest about Christmas?
Had it been released, had it been released normally in the theaters, it would have probably bombed anyways.
Bombed. No, then again, though, Christmas Day people are starved. They'll go see a guy sitting on the toilet making hand fart.
Yeah, but it was up
music.
against that Clint
American
Eastwood movie, the Sniper.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know what? That wasn't in Detroit. I actually wanted to see that. It was not in Detroit at all.
Really, it wasn't in Detroit on Christmas
It's
Day.
not going to be out till the 18th in Detroit.
Interesting.
I couldn't find where it's playing. It said coming out Christmas. Where? Nebraska?
Well, no. Usually, like it's L.A. and New York to be eligible for Oscar nominations.
Or Texas.
And yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, because they got to do all those rating things.
Stupid.
You know what the funniest thing that happened on Christmas Day? The stupid little wiener kids couldn't play their little Call of Duties online because somebody hacked the PlayStation Network and Xbox.
And Xbox.
No!
I can't play
There's
my
one-
World of Warcraft because
I'm so
Kate
upset.
Upton told me to play it.
Apparently,
That's right. Kate Upton just got done telling me that I needed to play. I don't know.
This is what happens when too many people
No,
log
no.
in at one time.
Yeah.
Kate Upton's cleavage told me to play a game.
I must play a game. Apparently, there's rage videos everywhere on YouTube, and I have seen none of them, and I'm angry.
Oh, it's outstanding.
You're angry because you haven't seen a rage video
of the kids getting.
So this would
like
be
the angry German kid that pounds on the keyboard. I want to see more of that.
So this will be like the videos that we always bitch about our kids watching. About instead
Opening
of
up
playing
other
video
things.
games, they just watch videos. Of people. So instead of watching the rage videos, let's film a video of Bob raging that he missed all the rage videos on YouTube.
It's gotten to that point.
And we'll make millions.
It's gotten to that point.
How far down the rabbit hole are we going to go with this?
I can't stand this conversation. I yell upstairs.
It'll be Cartman, bro.
Exactly. Trying to police my kids gaming, and I'm like, Gretchen, are you still on stupid wiener Minecraft?
No,
Dad.
No.
What are you doing?
I'm on stupid wiener YouTube.
I'm on YouTube. What are you watching on YouTube?
Minecraft
videos.
Kinder Surprise eggs.
So wait a minute. Yeah. Wait, what was the one you guys were telling me about? With the new thing is the people opening boxes.
That's what
the
he's surprise
talking about.
No, my son watches the eggs all day long.
So
He'll watch
explain to
Kinder
this because this is new to me.
So they have these eggs. They're banned in America. I actually get them at an Arabic gas
banned in
station.
America.
I get them in an Arabic
Two
gas
Life Crews
station
song about
in
'em.
Dearborn.
Banned in the U.S.
Wait. Repeat that. They're
So
banned in America,
they're
but you
banned
can
in
get them
America.
in an Arab
gas station on
in
Ford Road in Dearborn,
Oh,
and they have them.
Fantastic.
And I asked the guy. He goes, "Yeah, they sneak them in through Canada." So you can also get them through Canada.
Way to go, Homeland Security.
I was gonna say, Homeland Security,
Way
are
to
you
go,
listening?
Homeland Security.
He tells me, though, they're
Jack
sold out
Holes.
in 1 or 2 days. Completely sold out in 1 or 2 days. But these eggs, they're chocolate eggs. You take off the wrapper, and then you crack the egg in half, and inside there's a little plastic
Like
capsule.
a Lego guy?
Well, it could be anything. It can be a Thomas the Train. It could be a Star Wars action figure. It could be anything. It could be a lame top. It could be a puzzle. It could
In
be
a chocolate egg.
In a chocolate egg. And the chocolate's delicious. It's Kinder. Have you ever had Kinder eggs?
Absolutely.
Oh, they're awesome. But so my son takes it apart. I eat the egg. And he shows me, the little whatever he got out of it. We hang it on the Christmas tree, whatever it might be. But that's the concept. But there's videos out there.
But why don't you just buy the damn toy that you want instead of like...
I don't remember...
Because you could get arrested by Homeland Security for buying this thing.
My wife wanted to get them for Christmas. She goes, you need to find him these for Christmas. I said, I have to go to Canada. She goes, you can't go to Canada. I go, you can't get them. You got to go to Canada.
All right, wait, Eric. So how does your son even know about these?
Because he saw the videos on YouTube.
Isn't he 3? Did you say he's 3?
Yeah, he's 3. Well, he saw them actually when he was 2, but now he's 3.
Jesus Christmas.
Yeah, what's this world coming to?
You have a long, long road ahead of you, my friend.
He does.
This kid,
I thought my daughter was bad at 7 with her iPad.
This kid's a genius engineer. It's bizarre. I mean, really, it is.
Oh, dude, I'm convinced that anyone under the age of 7 can actually see inside code.
They're Neo from the Matrix.
That's the only explanation I can come up with.
I set him up his own Linux terminal with 2 screens.
Of course
and everything
you did.
in the basement. It's crazy.
He's got the whole.
He's rebooting Ubuntu.
Yeah, he's got the Swordfish Hydra set up.
Maybe that's why we couldn't be live tonight.
Right. Dad's going to talk smack about me.
Wait, where's that little child I see underneath the computer? What?
Listen, I need another employee.
Right. So, hey, we didn't mention. So, we are at itandthed.com. We are at Facebook. Did you?
No.
No, he
I didn't
didn't
think
but,
so.
But that's
we
all
are
right.
at facebook.com/itandthed. And on Twitter, we are at itandthed.
Everyone knows.
Umlaut, whatever. Dude, I don't know. We don't know who
That's
they
a good
are.
point. Yeah, for
Tonight's
those.
show is brought to you by...
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Logicalis and Quantum Storage.
Find them online, us.logicalis.com, and Quantum Storage is at quantum.com.
That's right. Who can do? Let's see, Bob or Dave. Who can do the better strip club DJ voice?
And we're drinking
Coming up
luscious.
Coming up on
Falling down
stage
beer.
2, it's cinnamon.
I don't know what you're talking about. We're sipping on delicious falling down beer.
As always. And yes, if you do want to call in, because, well, heaven forbid we actually have fan interaction.
Is that actually working this time?
It is. I've looked. Our phone number is 313-462-0107. And we are drinking, and so feel free to call in if you're ready to deal with us drinking. That's
But if you're going to call in for live tech support, we're not going to take your call.
Yeah, exactly. We're not here to tell you how to listen to the show.
No.
We're not here.
Because if you call in...
That's what you guys told me I was here for.
Yeah,
Dude, seriously, that's happened twice. We've
Somebody
had people that have called in to ask how to listen to the show.
And we've actually said...
I asked, how did they
you're
get
on
the
show.
number? Weren't they already listening to the show to get the number?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very meta.
I feel like the universe is like inverted upon itself.
Exactly. There's a
you
rip in
help
the
me
time-space
replace-
continuum, and yeah.
Can you help me replace the inkjet printer?
My cup holder's not working.
Going. Yeah, my cup holder.
My
Yeah.
cup holder.
There was I just saw on Facebook, we were at the bar, and I think like Metro Times says like, what are you doing tomorrow? Get to the library. I'm like, yeah, as soon as they fax you the TV guide, I'm like, the library. Like, really?
I got to hit up that card catalog.
Well, there was actually a story.
They
that
don't have that anymore. It's all on them computers now.
Yeah, the Dewey Decimal
Got to
System
use
is
the
dead.
digital
Yeah.
systems.
It's all... the kids go to the library...
find a book?
Yeah, the kids go to the library to use computers to
We didn't
surf
talk
Google.
about that last week. There was actually one of the stories that I had queued up. Was there was a great story from the New York Public Library that basically before Google there was librarians, and they've kept a written log since like 1930 something.
Conan the librarian.
Conan the librarian. Yeah. Conan, what is best in life? Google to read the books.
The Dewey Decimal System.
The Dewey Decimal System, and to hear the lamentation,
And to curse the internet.
No, but so they've actually kept a written log of all the questions that people have called in about since like the 30s, and it's fascinating. Like, I mean, it's actually kind of cool stuff. Like one of the questions, like somebody called in and said, "We need to know the actual weight of a postage stamp," and they said, "Well, we really don't know. You should call the post office." And the guy said, "This is the post office." They just.
So my daughter goes to the library every now and again for American Girl or Lego craft type clubs that she belongs to. So I take her over there, and while she's in the clubs, I'm wandering around the library aimlessly, and I'm like just observing, like we were joking about. And the guy behind the counter, who I only assume is the librarian, he's providing tech support for the printer, the copier. He's not actually asking or answering questions on where can I find a book, because all the other kids that are in there for like after school like latchkey kids. They're all on the games, using the free Wi-Fi. It's kind of sad.
Can you do the slow clap, Dave, for that one? That's a great story, Jeff. You tell that one all the time.
I do.
Tell us that story more.
Are you done?
Instead of the night before Christmas at Jeff's house, he tells that story. 'Twas the night at the library. There was a guy behind the counter, and
Shut up, Lindsay. Shut up, Lindsay.
I guess I'm just done.
Shut up, Lindsay.
I think Jeff just got voted off the island.
Turn your microphone off. Get out. Is that your line?
You are the weakest link. Come on. Yeah, that's like your line. Turn your microphone off. Get out.
So what the hell's going on?
What's first on the list?
Or last,
Apparently
whatever.
not that.
Well, so we talked Sony and the North Korea hack. We've talked...
The lizard people hacked all of us.
The lizard people hacked all of us. I know you were queuing up mightily for the fact that Instagram was the best purchase ever made.
Kiss my
and
ass.
was the last great deal.
So
Isn't this old news, though?
Hang on. 1 minute. So let me get this straight. I understand if you're Ford Motor Company and you actually build, manufacture, market, and sell a product for more than what you built it for and make a profit, and let's go by Shark Tank numbers, 10x EBITDA, and that's your company's worth. Instagram is worth $35 billion. That's a B, ladies and gentlemen. They don't make anything. They don't sell anything.
They don't buy anything.
They don't buy anything.
Sold or processed. They don't process anything.
They
bought or
don't
sold.
do anything.
They let you
They
post
share
pictures
cat
of your
videos.
food.
Cat videos.
And videos now, yes.
You
Yes,
post
videos.
pictures of food,
Which is better than
and
Vine.
hashtags, and people like them. They're not making anything. They're not.
There's no
selling it.
ads.
There's nothing.
Not that I've seen.
35
there's
billion.
ads.
Yeah, but you know what they have?
Really? I haven't seen them.
You know what they have, Bob? They have eyeballs. They have people. They have users.
They're not making anything. How the hell is that worth $35 billion?
In this day and age, it's all about the eyeballs.
Kiss my ass. Doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. What the? How the hell does that even? It doesn't even compute. I'm a rational human being. Some would say I'm a.
Sometimes.
Some would say I'm a decent businessman. That's what. Yeah.
This is why.
Right.
My daughter with a hat
Yeah.
on Instagram.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
It's eyeballs.
But
it's.
But you didn't buy that. Nobody bought it to look at it. It's not making. You're not making
You
money.
didn't build that.
You're not making. No one's.
You didn't. Yeah, you didn't build that.
I'll give you. You didn't build that. Maybe. And I like to think that I'm up on technology, and I get how business gets done. That's the one that boggles. Like Flappy Bird making $100,000 a day boggles my.
There's ads in
mind.
Flappy Bird to click.
Who's clicking ads?
Who's
Flappy
clicking the
Birds
ads?
while you're playing?
Who clicks ads on my site? Thank God that they do, but they do.
I don't think they
Bots.
do.
Bots click ads.
Yeah, it's crazy. I want someone to sit down and explain. Get Mark Cuban, call the show right now and explain to me.
Yeah, you know what? He's going to get red on
You
that.
buy tech companies. You know how these things are evaluated better than I ever will.
I mean, what was he? Wasn't he broadcast.com?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. That went so far.
$1 billion he sold it for.
That was overrated.
Well, Yahoo bought him for over $1 billion.
Yeah. But I get
What
like
do you mean
so-
it didn't go far?
But like Eric,
Well, no, what I'm
far.
saying is like, who uses it now?
Doesn't matter. Well, who uses Yahoo?
But like Eric, I've worked
Actually,
for...
a lot of people use Yahoo. Their user base is actually very large.
You're full of crap.
No, it is for
Oh,
Yahoo
whatever.
News and for auto sales, Yahoo Autos.
My wife who uses the mail.
It's all
It's,
about...
you know what it is?
Yeah,
It's all
my-
of your wives.
Yeah,
no,
my-
it is all of your wives who
Eric,
use
that's
Yahoo.
true because my wife still uses Yahoo Mail. Yep.
It's all of our shill accounts that we sign up
give
for on
a
Plenty of
sec-
Fish.
I
Somebody
give-
else-
Exactly.
I give her a secure, encrypted
You know I'm
corporate
right,
email
too, Dave.
account, but no, we're going to use Yahoo.
Yeah.
It's purple.
No, but I've worked for...
Don't you know it's
I've
purple?
I've been in the tech sector for 20 years now. I've worked for data centers. I've worked for hardware manufacturers, software manufacturers. I get how those companies make money, right? You offer
They're
up, you buy
selling
something in
something.
scale, and you sell small pieces of it at more than what you paid to build it, right? And it costs more for those people to build it, so they lease space from you. Or you make hardware. Same
Right.
thing. I'm building you this box that you plug stuff
The
into.
sum is greater than the whole of its
New
parts.
math, Bob. New math.
And you sell it
That's
for
the Apple
the margins
montage.
and the margins and what the cost and the delivery, and I get all that. What, seriously though, Instagram.
Advertising.
Again.
I can't dig it. You dig it? No, Cyrus, I don't know.
Can you dig it?
If I'm Facebook right now, yes, I can dig it because I just bought them for $1 billion.
So, where I'm at down in Webward is where our office is at. And there's all these other people that are around us. We're the only IT infrastructure company. All these other people are developing apps. And it blows my mind they're either getting money from their parents or investors. It's one guy. He's got $2 million invested in him to build an app that he has no idea what he's building.
How long the bathroom lines are?
Well, it's something for real. It's for real estate.
Oh my God,
like you
that
own a property and you want to control your tenants. It's for that. But he doesn't understand it. But he got $2 million. But the purpose, he's going to give it away free. But the idea, the underlying goal is to get advertising dollars. What? I mean, you're going to invest $2 million into that?
On the hope,
so it's a
advertising. Yeah. Invest into you?
Hope is not that sounds like it's something that actually would be good just to sell on a monthly basis.
But that wasn't his point.
No, but that seems like it's a much simpler route to revenue of just, hey, charge somebody per unit that you use.
You know why you don't understand this, Bob?
Yeah, but you're getting your 8-track tuned up.
That's right. Old-fashioned, make something and pay for it.
I have an 8-track player. I enjoy it. And I'm not a hipster.
Isn't that in your car?
Yes. It's my summer car.
Did you ever get that one cassette out?
Yes, it's out.
So no more Johnny Cash in the caddy?
But I don't...
Playing at like chipmunk speed.
It's the Bob's Cadillac.
I walk the line, I walk the line.
Back on topic.
This song again.
Oh, ring of fire. Oh, ring of fire.
Elvin, sing it again.
That's how it sounded, too. So, Jeremiah, it's kind of like this podcast. It's like someone would invest $2 million into us 18 months ago.
Which we're completely open to.
Yeah.
But let me put this out there.
Mark Cuban, I know you're listening.
There's this network called Gimlet Media that you can actually follow their entire story on a podcast called Startup.
What'd you call me?
It's called Gimlet Media.
I don't like
so
gin.
So they're named after a drink. I'm in.
Yes, yeah. And they're good guys, but they're out of New York.
I don't like gin.
They're out of it. They're out of New York, and one of their they raised $1.5 million, and they bring you along for the whole story. And one of their shows, Reply All, does not get as many listeners as you guys do, but they're way above their revenue projections. They're going to be launching 3 more podcasts, and it's a network, and it's a hot thing.
We're doing it wrong.
We are.
God damn it!
He got $1.5 million in revenue, and now they're like at like $25,000-$30,000 a month in revenue.
People are riding our wave.
What?
Yeah, you can listen to it. If you don't listen to you can watch. It's a great podcast because they follow from the beginning where this guy sucks and he makes this horrible
Jeremiah,
pitch.
can I tell you something? You don't go to a
monsters and full sex.
You don't go to a restaurant and say how good the restaurant is down the street. Kiss my ass, get out of the studio.
You wouldn't listen to it. It's radio made for hipsters anyway. You wouldn't listen.
Yeah, I listened to it before it was cool, so I'm good.
Turn your microphone off. Just get out.
Yeah, there it is.
Thank you.
God, I was in such a good mood. Now everybody's telling me I'm doing it wrong. And
attaching 7 figures to the fact that we're doing it wrong.
Instagram's worth $35 billion. LinkedIn's worth $35 billion.
You're only doing it wrong.
Tell you what, you guys
you're not happy.
You guys can make fun of me all night.
If you're happy, you're doing it right.
Yeah, no kidding. Jesus H. What the hell else is next? I don't want to talk about this no more. No kidding. You got any time? Give me some.
There's like a laundry list of crap to talk about.
Well, we always have stuff to talk about. The one I'm curious about how the reaction to this are going to go is
poorly.
There are a couple of restaurants out there that have announced that they're eliminating tipping in their restaurants.
Ain't gonna work.
But the trade-off is that they're raising their menu prices 20%.
Ain't gonna work.
Bad idea.
Ain't gonna work.
People are gonna
Nope.
I'll tell you exactly why.
Not gonna work because people are obligated to still tip.
Nope. It's not that at all. It's you got in let's say in a restaurant. Let's say a little corner bar setting. You know who the really good waitresses are. You know who's hustling. And some nights those girls are making $150 a night.
So this is socialism for restaurants?
Yes. And what you're going to do is you're taking away the ability for that girl to hustle.
Yeah.
And you're telling her she's going to make $10 an hour.
No matter what.
She's going to go kiss my ass. I'm working down the street.
She's going to take 15 minutes to fill your water glass, and then your Yelp review is going to be 1 star all the way.
They're going to destroy it unless you have a lifer.
Yep.
Let's say you get like a 35-year-old woman with 2 kids that's it for her.
Yeah.
You're never going to get a 22-year-old.
No, you're absolutely right.
But you know what? Who makes the most tips statistically is mid-30-year-old women. Statistically, because this is.
I don't know about that. Have you been to Coney Island lately?
I don't give a shit about Coney Island. I give a shit about research. I mean,
alrighty then. Where's that soundbite?
Next show.
No, but I mean, the reality is I don't want to hear hearsay when there's actual data. The actual data is that white women between the ages of 30 and 35 make the most money doing tips.
How do you know if the guy not doing research is a glue sniffer building metal airplanes? I mean, I'm just saying.
Sure, you can say that about anyone. You can say that's an ignorant way to look at research.
Right, exactly.
That's an ignorant way to look at it. I'm sorry. sorry, because
we struck a nerve again.
Boy.
The nerve is popping out.
Boy.
Because if you're just going to look at data and say, "Oh, it doesn't matter," then fine. I mean, that's fine. Then
Well, but we all know there are.
But you're a data. You guys are data people.
But there
you're
are
nerds.
But there are three kinds of lies in this
we're
world.
geeks. We're not nerds.
No.
We're
There are
geeks.
three kinds of lies in this world. There are lies, there are damn lies, and there are statistics. Because when it comes down to like studies like that, or like you can make a number say whatever you want it to be. Like so, okay, yes, we maintained 70% of our traffic over the course of this past month, or hey, you lost 30% of your traffic over the course of this past month. It all depends on the spin you want to put.
But
on
it is something. There's something to be said for the idea that it's not just about a young, pretty face to make the most tips. That it's about service.
I was talking about hustling. I was talking about being pretty.
Yeah, Bob didn't say that at
pretty.
all. Yeah, he was talking about
I
just
said hustling.
And I think that mid-30s woman that you're talking about, you're saying is the lifer just went right into that category of who actually makes the most tips.
Because they're hustling.
Because they're hustling.
You're violently agreeing with him.
I just said that.
Yeah, you guys are actually agreeing, but you're like arguing.
That happens with Bob and I sometimes.
I completely said that. The one that's hustling's the one that's going to get driven away. The one that doesn't. What
I'd like to see is at least minimum wage.
Dave, did this
doesn't have to be 10, whatever, but like at least bring it to minimum wage. At least bring it to parity.
They do. They can't pay them less than
Dave,
minimum wage.
No, the minimum wage for a restaurant server is $2.35 an hour right now.
Jeremiah, relax.
It was like four. There are like 4 or 5 that have come out in the past week that said that they're.
Are they like big name brand restaurants?
Yeah, they're fairly decent. I mean, it was like L.A., New York, Chicago, like name restaurants that were going to run with it.
If their tips don't equal 7 1/4, they have to pay them 7 1/4. That's the law. They might make 2 something, plus tip, but if their tip doesn't include, so if they're working 5 dead shifts, they're not making $2. And
just the tip.
And that ends that segment.
Thank you.
Moving right along.
It's never going to work.
No, it won't. I totally agree. It's not going to work.
But then you read all the stories about places, like.
Well, Europe's like that. When you pull out a $5 bill, the guy looks at you like, "Hey, I make a living wage."
Mm-hmm.
Right? And he's like, "Don't." And then everyone told me, "Don't tip when you're in Europe." It'll never. Once you have, if you so here it's great. 1 or 2 are going to do it. Remember when like 1 or 2 restaurants went non-smoking? Some worked, some didn't, some were meh.
Right.
If you don't have it all on board, right? If you don't say,
unless it's crammed down your throat.
If you don't come out and say restaurant industry, everyone's making $8.50 or whatever minimum wage works up to be, it ain't gonna work. Because you're still gonna have a few.
I know Moo Cluck Moo is doing very well.
It's one location in Dearborn Heights.
That's
Everyone uses that as the de facto. Like everyone tries to compare how Costco pays versus Walmart, and it's like 1/10 of the infrastructure. Like you can't compare McDonald's and Moo Cluck Moo. It's the apples and oranges.
Well, and they're different jobs. I mean, in Moo Cluck Moo, you're doing a lot more prep than pulling it out of a machine. In Moo Cluck Moo, you're putting together the sauce and all the stuff. You're doing multiple jobs.
Right.
Whereas at somewhere like a McDonald's, it's mechanized. But I would argue that over time, there's going to be McDonald's has been seeing drops in sales. It's actually something that they're very concerned about because people are choosing non-mechanized food.
Their food's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes back to, it's getting to the point where people want quality and they're willing to pay for it, right?
Absolutely.
Well, look at all the, the sales of Bud and Miller and everything else are down like 20%.
Right, because it's toilet.
Whereas microbrews are going through the roof.
Yeah.
People are willing to pay for what they want and what they like.
They're nothing. It's America.
America. That's how it's supposed to be. America. I want what I want, and if I have the dollars to achieve it, then let me have it.
On New Year's Eve, I'm not going to Denny's for steak dinner. I'm going to Lely's.
Right.
Yeah. I eat and drink what I want. But I mean, in terms of...
I drink what I want.
No, exactly.
Yeah, you drink whatever your jackal guests leave you to drink.
But if that one... Yeah. But I bet you that restaurant's going to hurt because people are going to look at... People aren't going to conceptualize it. And they're going to look at the higher prices on the menu. They're going to, I can go to Kirby's, eat the same food. Right? Didn't we eat at Dino's and the food at Kirby's was better? Right?
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm paying double over there. But now imagine if...
And it took, 9 hours
to
get
I think your
Mary,
your original point is spot on because the customer service is just going to plummet.
Yeah.
Because you got waitresses that are just not going to give a shit. And they're going to be like, I'm going to fill their water glass every 5 minutes instead of
Not just that, those restaurants make money on turns, right? They get them in, get them out.
Right.
Upsells, all that stuff.
Right.
And if the waitress isn't going to be incentivized to
but
upsell...
playing devil's advocate, do people suck that bad? Do you really think...
Yeah.
Yes.
People suck that bad?
Absolutely.
If
They
you
do.
want to live in that
my God.
worldview, that's fine. I just choose not to.
Rose-colored glasses, man. That's what it is.
It's reality.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. I mean,
it can be your reality. That's not the reality I always see.
By and large, people suck, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not
Look
gonna lie.
look at Yelp reviews.
I don't want people to suck, but they kind of do. Which brings us to, you know what? Let's go. We're actually at a good break point. I will throw the Yelp in the queue, and
yeah, because that's very perfect.
And then we will have a break. And so, yeah, that's what we're going to do.
This is the IT Show.
We'll be right back.
IT and the D presents Real Detroit Heroes.
Real Detroit Heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Yelp Review Extremist.
Mr. Yelp Review Extremist.
You watch every episode of Chopped and have Anthony Bourdain as your phone's wallpaper, so you, obviously, are a professional food critic.
What's the latest catchphrase?
Your reviews on Yelp aren't written for the commoners. No, they're written for the people who truly appreciate fine dining experiences. At the corner Coney Island at 3 a.m. on a Tuesday.
Why don't they have sushi?
And so even though the place was clean, the food was exactly what you ordered. It got to your table quickly. You had to wait 18 seconds for your water glass to be refilled. And that's just not acceptable.
Gotta be a 1-star.
If it's not being served to you by a mustache-sporting hipster in a wool cap inside a room full of photos of cities you couldn't name to save your life from behind a bar made of reclaimed wood, well, it's certainly not up to your standards.
I forgot to check in.
So here's to you, Mr. Yelp Review Extremist. Thanks to you, the rest of us have a checklist of places to go just to try the worst meatball sandwich that one guy on Yelp ever had in his life.
Real Detroit Heroes.
IT in the D. Networking Detroit, one beer at a time. Live from the Raw Radio X studios in downtown Detroit. This is the IT in the D Show.
The IT in the D Show is brought to you in part by Logicalis. Logicalis is an international IT solutions and managed services provider with expertise in communications and collaboration, data center, and cloud services. Employing nearly 3,700 people worldwide with more than 20 offices in the U.S., including 2 in Metro Detroit. Find out more at us.logicalis.com.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D Show.
And we are back. Jeremiah just busted out the Jack Daniels, so God knows what's going to happen. This is segment 2, episode 72.
We're going to hell in a handbasket.
This is the IT in the D Show. We're sitting here in the Raw Radio X studios in the Russell Industrial Center, beautiful Midtown Detroit, Michigan. This is Bob the Sales Guy here with David Geek, Jeff the Voice of Reason. We're still sponsored by Logicalis and Quantum Storage.
Tonight, we are going to witness the most anticipated match in the history of professional wrestling.
Bob versus
for
Jeremiah.
the heavyweight championship of the world.
The Crusher.
Are you ready? Wrestling fans, are you ready?
I got goosebumps right now.
For the thousands in attendance,
Yeah, why is your
and the millions watching
Watching
around the world.
Bob? Why is your shirt off?
From the capital city of the United States of America.
Getting the baby oil out.
Stop beating your chest.
DC. Ladies and gentlemen,
Put your pants back on.
let's get ready to rumble!
Oh, and that was going to Hollywood Hogan's music.
Oh, man!
They're going to Jimi Hendrix.
But I like the I'm a Real American. That's my Hogan.
You know what? You know why? You know who else is doing it wrong? That guy makes $25,000 to say that,
I know.
and then he leaves. That's oh my God.
You got to have the voice.
Yeah, I got the. I guess I don't.
Do it.
Too raspy. I gotta
do it.
Do it.
I was told that my
Do it.
my
Do it now.
my voice has gravitas, which apparently means I need to keep smoking. That's how that translates.
Why? So your goal is to sound like Stevie Nicks?
Yes, yes.
Or the Simpson, Marge Simpson.
Marge Simpson.
That's who I aspire to sound like. Yes.
Cranky old Jewish man.
I must have told you the story over the years. So the girl that I was dating down in D.C., Michelle, when I first met her, she was living in Manhattan, and I met her in a club, and I was hanging out because my buddy Billy owned the place, and I was just like shooting pool, hanging out. And I'm leaned over to queue up a shot, and out of nowhere, this woman walks over and says, "Hey, you kind of look like a studious Nazi," and walks away. And I totally flubbed the shot, and I start laughing. And I turn around, and I'm like, "What?" She's like, "All right, well, you passed the humor test." So we wind up talking all night long, and it's a great conversation. And at the end of the night, I'm like, "Hey, let's get dinner, let's do drinks, let's do something." And she says, "Well," and I'm like, "What? Now you're married, you're dying, what's the story?" She's like, "No, I live in Manhattan." She's like, "I'm just in town for the weekend for my friend's birthday." And so, long story short, I wind up, she gives me her number, I call her, and when I call, it's, "Hello, you've reached, and I'm like, "Hi, this is Dave, I'm calling for Michelle," and
Dave's not here, man.
Call me back. And she calls me, and she's like, and I'm like, "Hey, you never told me you were living with a dude." She's like, "I'm not living with a dude. That's Kim." And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever, Kim. Yeah, sure it is." So I wind up heading up to New York to hang out with her for a weekend. And we go out, we hit the town, we have dinner, we have drinks, we have a great time, and we're back at her place, and it's 3:00 in the morning, and we're on the couch, and this the front door opens, and this drop dead gorgeous 6 foot tall redhead, D cups and a tube top and a tiny skirt comes staggering in, and I'm like, "Hi." She's like, "Oh my God, you must be Dave. So nice to meet you." And I'm like, "Holy crap!
No.
How many menthols have you smoked?"
Oh my God.
She was a bartender, smoked a lot. Yeah, that's
Match.com.
Her name was Kim.
Not YouTube dates. Match.com.
Exactly.
Just to be clear, does he get the slow clap after that story?
I was waiting. I was real close. I was real close to jumping the gun.
Does Captain Soundboard himself?
Yeah. I'm not sure about that.
Dave, I got a question for you. Do you get James Spader every once in a while?
I do.
I'm coming from the outside. I feel like I'm watching The Blacklist right now.
My ex used to say I look like James Spader.
And you sound like him too, though. I was
Blaine?
picturing an interview. Yeah.
Blaine? I'll be Blaine all day, every day.
Is that a major appliance?
His name is Blaine.
Blaine? That's not a name.
So, getting back on track here.
Why start now?
Yeah, exactly.
We're 3 growlers in.
We have Eric in the studio, who's the founder of the ERSA group. Ended up meeting you at a Cisco event.
Back alley.
Had a good, yeah, exactly. Met you on Backpage, but we ended up having a nice conversation. Invited you on the show, and
are we at a break yet?
No. But just real quick, tell us who we are, and then we'll dive into some stuff we want to talk
Lord
about.
help us, we have a
phone call.
No. Yeah, Eric, hold that thought.
Hey, this is the IT and the D show. What can we do for you?
Hey, I need to talk to Dave if I can.
That would be me.
This doesn't sound like Dave.
That's Dave.
That's Dave.
That's Dave, man.
Or James.
Dave's here, man. Dave's here.
Or we can do the whole Cheech and Chong thing, man.
I can play the Dave's not
Dave's not here, man.
Well, hey, you bypassed the whole deal with the... Did you clinch the deal or not? You were in her house. I just need to know if you clinched the deal or not.
Oh, we're back to it. Yes, actually, she moved down to D.C. and we lived together for 3 years, is actually the end of that story. Yes. So,
Yay! For
yes,
3 years.
yes,
right?
believe it or not,
Okay.
Dave actually managed to get himself laid.
Is this Mark?
Yes.
Hey,
No, this
Dave
sounds like
that he
Brian,
needs more
actually.
scotch, all right?
Yeah, with Brian, are you destroying my liquor cabinet as we speak?
I am, dude. I'm sitting with 3 gorgeous women. I can't help it, buddy.
So nice. So the estrogen fog bank invited one of the husbands along. Outstanding.
I'm going to use that estrogen fog bank.
All right, buddy. We'll see ya.
All right, have a good night, man.
It's funny, the best phone call we ever got was from Dave's house.
No, so that's Brian. So you might remember Sharon. She came along for the birthday party and some of the other wacky funnel as well. That's Sharon's husband, Brian. He's a good guy. He's a lot of fun.
Yeah, great story, Dave.
Slow clap yourself.
Yeah, slow clap yourself there.
So, by the way,
anyways,
we got Eric here from the ERSA group.
Hi, Eric.
We dropped the though. It's just ERSA group.
Oh, you did the Sean.
You did the whole Facebook thing.
Yeah,
Drop
it was before Facebook.
This sucks. Drop the. So what in the blue hell does the ERSA group do?
We're an IT managed service company. We do things, pretty much we take over IT for a company. So we do a lot of mid-market to enterprise-type organizations. We end up pretty much taking over IT. We absorb their employees, and we fix up IT, make it done right, give it back to that company for a fixed cost. We're also getting into a little bit more the government sector, too. But we do a lot of healthcare, HIPAA.
Which white companies are in IT to begin with is beyond me.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's
so
the
all
thing.
these
It's
companies are doing IT wrong, and
they
you're like
own
you set them
IT
straight.
Exactly. Every one of these companies has an IT company in them. So it's like, why? That's not
It's a massive
core
cost
business.
center.
Well, then the
Yeah.
CFO hires the CIO, who
exactly.
doesn't
so
know.
Our idea is to report directly to the CFO or the CIO or the CEO, depending on the size of the organization. That's really where we fit in. So we come over, we take over IT, we do it right. We source the people if necessary. But really, we have, in IT nowadays, you can't have one guy who knows everything. It's gotten so complex.
They hold the company hostage.
Well,
it's a whole hit by truck theory,
what?
too.
And that's another story we can talk about.
I prefer to think of it as if I win the lottery and I never show up tomorrow.
Yeah, I guess that's a
as
more
opposed to
more positive way of looking at it.
Dude, a great guy, Terrence McKinney. I love back in my GM days. He was our graphics wizard, just a phenomenal dude. And that was in every single meeting we were in at least once. If I get hit by a beer truck tomorrow.
Why is it going to be a beer truck?
Yeah.
Well,
of all trucks, why does it have to be a beer truck?
Well, here's a little story. We have a major healthcare company in Metro, a major hospital. They have a
rhyme
unit
with?
of their
I'm just
hospital.
kidding.
It rhymes with
No, you don't.
no
I'm just
nuts.
kidding.
But anyways, so anyways, they had an IT guy, and that IT guy said, "I will crash your systems if you get rid of me." They paid him a salary of $90,000 a year. Yeah, no, honest to God, they paid him a salary of $90,000 a year, and they gave him a $100,000 operating budget. They had no idea what that was being spent on.
Hell yeah!
So so what happened is we came in and we were told they were telling us
this guy's giving away all of our secrets.
These doctors came to us and they were like, "Listen, we are scared. We do not know what to do here." So we had to come in secretly and find any back door he may have found, lock him out as much as possible. And they brought him in one day and said, "Listen, you're gone. You're out." And we pretty much changed all the passwords and blocked all the back doors we could possibly find. And when we were going through it, we found out, there was massive fraud going on across the board. We were able to cut their costs. It's embarrassing, but we were able to save them, 75% on what they were spending. But, they're able to cut costs, save money, and spend the money on, helping patients. That's the bottom line is we're able to, really cut the cost and do IT right. And that's what we really, I don't really care about the money personally. I would get yelled at by my VP of finance, but honest to God, I care about doing things right and
Communist.
there's so much fraud going on and deceit in IT because there's so many people that just don't have ethics, and there's a lot of companies I've walked into and I've even worked at that. They just don't do things honestly. And
It's at every level. You got some podunk web developer that's holding some chiropractor's office hostage because he doesn't want to release their HTML code.
Exactly.
At the
smallest level, yes, exactly.
Well, that was the first. That was the first conspiracy theory that came out about the whole Sony hack and everything that was going on there. Was back in February, Sony Entertainment did a massive layoff. Right. Including quite a few of their network admins and sysadmins and everything else. So is it really a hack if those admins who know their corporate security policies and know how crappy those policies are, know all the generic IDs that are floating around as well as their own IDs and passwords, and they just go, hey, you know what? Who wants to buy these? Sell them, put them out for the highest bidder. somebody grabs them and uses those, it's like I told Bob a couple weeks ago. Am I really that good of a burglar if you give me the keys to your house and then go away for a week and you come back and it's empty?
And by the way, there's not one shred of evidence at all that was North Korea. So.
But it came out, but it wasn't.
But it's such a great story if it is.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, though, one of those, we had a conversation earlier on about another organization that I was previously at. They actually talked about going after that company and doing managed security services for that company. I'm actually curious if they were in there and they were doing the security on the external side for them. Because if they did, God,
what
I would
a
laugh
nightmare!
my ass off.
What a nightmare!
But I mean, think about the dumb things. We all work for big companies, right? I've worked for some of the biggest. My Verizon MiFi from 2 companies ago still fires up, which means they're paying the monthly bill on that.
I will see.
Are you kidding me?
I will see that card and raise you. So my first trip through a rather large automotive in this area ended in the year 2000.
They're still paying that bill.
When I came back in the year 2005 for my second of what I refer to as my tours of duty through there, just for shits and giggles, I'm like, you know what? I set up the company intranet. I set up this. I set up that.
Yeah.
Let's see if, because again, I'm convinced I'm like halfway autistic. Don't ask me for directions to my house, but I can like.
You'll remember a password from 2001.
Dude, IP addresses, usernames, passwords, all that kind of nonsense. And I'm like, let's fire it up and see what happens.
I still remember my original CompuServe ID.
They all worked.
Oh my God!
Are you kidding me?
All of them. All of them. Admin level root IDs. All of them.
See, that's just pure laziness.
Years later.
That is
Good thing you're not an asshole or anything.
Yeah, I'm glad the hat that you wear is white, not black. Is that racist to say?
I don't know, Jeremiah. Are we allowed to say white hat, black hat?
I think so, yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure,
The race referee is here.
All right, yeah. Just want to make sure, Jeremiah, that we're all that's mighty white of us.
But think about that, like all the stuff.
Because inevitably some, I don't know, douche line will go ahead and, try to take something we say out of context. So, yeah.
Screw that guy. But imagine all the, I'm just one guy. Like, they had 160,000 employees. Let's say 10% of them keep their Verizon MiFis.
Right.
Like, that's crazy.
So wait. So conceivably, you could use that
right now
to get on the net now, today.
Yeah. It fires up.
Unreal.
I just checked it.
You just do it just for shits and giggles?
Yeah, I'm like, there's no way this thing works. And it's sitting right on but next to my pencils on my desk. Not pencils, I don't use pens, whatever.
I know what you mean.
But still,
it's unbelievable.
Wow. When you talk about corporate waste, though, I mean...
Well, it's like the meme that we passed around with North Korea. Let's try password to see if that works. Password? Holy crap, it works! We're in Sony!
I mean, you think about what they sent me to quit my home office with the job I have now. I have like a corporate...
keys to the kingdom.
I have a corporate fire... No. It's not... It'll get shut off the day I leave, but about the dollar amount of stuff they sent
right.
And I'm sure they've costed it out for...
I want to see you, Mr. Stryker. We're running out of time.
Surely there must be something you can do.
I'm doing everything I can. And stop calling me Shirley.
Surely that password won't still work.
Why does that sound like it's sped up?
And stop calling me Shirley.
They were going fast at the time.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay, just checking.
So diving back in, I mean, that's actually a good topic to talk about, like goofy stuff you found, like at different places. You don't have to say the names of the companies, but like the waste.
It would probably be better for everyone if you.
All right,
didn't.
so you take over
the waste.
You take over the IT of company X, and you're like, holy crap!
That's it everywhere. I mean, usually, actually, since we came back into business, we haven't done any marketing, so we haven't picked up any really live customers. Everything has been word of mouth or people have an emergency. So we picked up a lot of nightmares. It's just a big, giant nightmare. They don't
For the
know
love
what to
of
do.
God, come help me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of blatant fraud from they're purchasing X, and this one guy who works for them will charge them and say, hey, I bought this at Micro Center. It cost, $580, which it really
it's like
costs
$17.
$17, exactly.
I'm paying $15,000 a month for this DS3.
Yeah. And that's the other thing we come into. We find out, we do like an IT audit spend analysis, and then we find out that they have like 3 DSL lines and 53 other phone lines that they don't even need. And that it just comes down to a cost savings.
But so how do they? It's crazy though that they don't. You'd think if you have a controller and a CFO on site that they would look at this stuff and
This
do
stuff-
an audit, like a quarterly
But
audit.
they
or
don't
something,
understand what they're
anything.
looking at. It's a
blows
line
your
item,
mind.
right?
And you know what? Most of the CEOs and the CIOs, it goes over their head, and they actually get kind of intimidated by it, and they don't even want to talk about it. So it just, they shelf it because they don't want to talk about it because they don't know.
They don't understand it.
Yeah, and they get embarrassed by it.
because there's some guy who's sitting there saying, "I will shut your entire company down if you don't give me what I want."
And that, and
no,
that
it's that new meme that's been going around at this point. I'm too
that
afraid to ask.
hospital, that was the one place we actually saw that. I mean, that was the true story. The guy said, "I will actually shut you down, and I will cause you pain."
So has there ever been a
Pain.
situation where, like, the bully in the corner, like, the guy that's doing those threats comes to you and says, "Dude, WTF"?
No, I've been wondering about that. Some of the guys like that we kick out of the place, like.
Right.
I wonder if the guy's like looking us up, or plotting against my, my family or something.
Eric, here's the thing: we talk all the time. We were, this thing started as a networking group, right? Everyone talks. There's guys that pulled wool over people's eyes that won't see the light of day in this industry, and they got to move out of state. I mean,
it's happened more than once.
Multiple times, actually.
But I'm saying a guy like
Recently.
that, how the hell does he see the light of day in this industry after pulling something like that?
Well, the thing is, like this guy, for example, and again, we're not going to name names, but
No.
he had a job, so he was doing them. He was doing they had 2 offices because of the economy. They had to scale back to 1. So he said, "I need to go get another job because I don't know if he got paid more or what. I just know what he got paid at the time when they got rid of him. So he must have got paid a pretty decent sum. He got a full-time job somewhere else. So he still has a full-time job getting paid $90,000 a year plus his $100,000 yearly budget that that was supposed to be spent on internal IT.
And you wonder why we hate people.
Well, no. Well, not only that, you wonder why companies hate IT.
Yeah, right.
I have one other one that kind of trumps that is that we walked into a plastic surgery office, and this lady, she's a nice lady, but she asked me, she goes, "Look, she's got one server, about 12 desktops, small plastic surgery place in like Southfield, Michigan or so.
Just give me access
It's
to the
no
before and
longer
after.
around.
Hang on,
It's
just
no longer around. But needless to say, she said, "How much would you charge me to set this whole place up?
Yeah.
Server, desktop, whatever."
I was say, just give me access to the before and after pictures. I'll do it for free.
I actually had to fire somebody because of that.
Really? What?
That's another. Anyway, so she said, "How much would it be?" And I gave her a roundabout number. She said she paid $250,000 for 12 desktops.
Oh, Jesus!
They didn't even finish the server. They kind of you could tell they didn't know what they were doing with the Windows server, and they kind of set up some basic.
Unbelievable.
Walked away. She goes, "I called the number. It was disconnected." Honest to God.
Damn my ethics.
Because we deal with HIPAA stuff, we have to be very secure, and that's that's why we're teamed up with Cisco. I mean, they're one of the securest out there. I mean, we spend ridiculous amounts of money on security.
That's a $15,000 project tops.
Yeah. Well, we had
that.
we had to actually transfer all of that stuff to. We ended up taking it off this crappy Dell server that was in the corner
And
of
put
the
it in the
dusty
cloud.
closet.
Underneath somebody's
put it
desk in the corner, sitting on its
we had
side.
to move it from that to our internal cloud infrastructure. So while that happened, one of the guys was actually taking a look at and you know what, I might actually be causing myself to get a HIPAA violation, but we won't. We'll say in general terms.
In the generic terms of a plastic surgeon's office, one would assume.
Look at something that could be something to say like a labiaplasty or a boob job or whatever.
What's a labiaplasty?
Yeah. So, anyways,
did you just say that?
We had caught him taking a look at.
Did we just go back to being IT in the V?
Didn't we?
If I
Didn't we
could
just have that conversation with Karen a couple nights ago?
If I could take a picture of Dave's face right now.
He had made a comment.
He knows that I know that I know.
Yeah. And I know that you know that I know that you know.
Which is why neither of you can become senators.
This individual made a comment. Needless to say, we figured out.
I love that he just
it's a
keeps
big
moving
problem.
forward.
True professional.
Well, now you stumped him.
Now I threw him.
So we had to get rid of him. He threw a pencil at one of our VP's face and
What? Who throws a pencil?
Yeah, threw a pencil at his
Who
eye.
throws a shoe?
Honestly.
crazy.
So hold on. So he went through their day, like
he was looking at the photos.
Oh my God!
Well, first of all, we told the doctor like you cannot keep them with. They had the names, and they were like prominent people. They were newscasters on the news, and she had them by name, first and last name. We wrote her a thing saying this is a violation of HIPAA law. You cannot have first and last names of people. They have to be a unique identifier. And she couldn't afford to redo them.
Newscasters got labiaplasty.
Yeah, so this guy's clicking
I never
around.
watched the news.
Wait. The guy actually said, I can't afford to rename these files?
No, the lady that owned the practice. She was actually shutting down at the time.
Oh, wow.
So we actually still are storing the files right now in, a bad format.
This is Doris Biscoe. I had labiaplasty.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'll stop talking now.
Not exactly.
It's a very no. Honestly, we're making light. But no.
Well, seriously,
who's gonna? Yeah, absolutely. Who's gonna tell them though how to do it right or wrong unless there's somebody sitting there because they don't know right off the bat.
Well, that's the problem we run into.
It's so hard to understand.
In my simple little access database with all my, my 11-year-old kid put this together. And, why is that a problem?
Well, we
said,
all
the passwords are stored in plain text.
We can do it for you. You have to convert it from here to here, but it was going to cost money, and she didn't want to spend money. She's like, I hurt my hand. I'm not going to practice surgery anymore. I want to shut down. So I want you to just to hold the data.
Basically decom it. Yeah.
So what we did was we took the data down and we encrypted it and we store it in a vault pretty much, and it's actually stored in a safe, password encrypted. I mean, nobody can get into it, but we're not touching it. We're
is that a service your company provides us? Like if a company goes out of business, you're going to keep their stuff in perpetuity?
We back up all the stuff. Yep, we back it up. We store it, and we actually put it in a physical vault.
Why wouldn't they just destroy it?
Yeah, why wouldn't you just delete the files?
Or you have to keep it.
Oh, for HIPAA.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, HIPAA 7 years. So.
Okay.
Hey, I think we got to take a break. We interrupted you so much. I think we got to come back with you.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, and we started late, so we're still going to come back.
All I heard was HIPAA.
Hungry hippas?
Hungry hippas.
Are you still talking, Jeremiah?
2.
I know. This is, we'll be right back with Eric from the ERSA Group. This is the IT and the D Show.
We'll be right back.
Live from the Raw Radio X studios in downtown Detroit, this is the IT and the D Show.
A word from Quantum, a storage company with a different approach. Quantum offers industry-leading backup and DR solutions with products that integrate innovative deduplication, replication, and cloud technologies. Our archive solutions help you retain data longer and keep it accessible, leveraging technologies like direct object storage, intelligent tiering, and LTO. Quantum Scale-Out Storage is designed to accelerate complex information workflow. Powered by StoreNext 5, it is the industry's fastest streaming files system. Visit www.quantum.com for more information.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D Show.
IT in the D presents Real Detroit Heroes.
Real Detroit Heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Suburbanite cutting grass in the city guy.
Mr. Suburbanite cutting grass in the city guy.
You gather your friends from the outer limits of suburbia, load your John Deere riding mowers into the trailers, and head down to Detroit just to cut grass.
It's my turn to weed whip.
And as you ride around in vacant fields leaving piles of freshly slashed grass behind you, you give a thumbs up to your buddy as he passes, because you're doing great things.
He forgot the edges.
Most people are content to mow grass and keep things looking good because it's something they're supposed to do. But you know your level of dedication requires a little something extra.
Gotta write a press release.
And so you cut, and you cut, and you cut your way into the hearts of everyone in the area, because you know you and your buddies are single-handedly saving the city.
We'll start when the cameras get here.
So here's to you, Mr. Suburbanite cutting grass in the city guy. Hop on that riding mower and head off into the sunset, because you deserve all the pats on the back that you're giving yourself.
Real Detroit Heroes.
IT in the D. Networking Detroit, one beer at a time.
Good times. We like that.
Let's see if I play that during the first show of the new year.
Why?
The person you're vaguely referring to has a bulletproof baseball cap.
Ed is going to be our guest the first week of the new year.
Hilarious. You have to play that for him.
It's going to be the 3-minute intro.
So this is segment 3, episode 72 of the IT and the D Show. We're sitting here in the Raw Radio X Studios, Russell Industrial, beautiful Midtown Detroit, Michigan. Find us online, itandthed.com. All that good stuff. We are tonight sponsored by Logicalis and Quantum Storage. Find them online, us.logicalis.com. Quantum Storage is at quantum.com. And we are drinking delicious Falling Down beer. I think we went through a Mother Cluster. We went through a...
this is a new one. What is
amber?
Some amber or something. Analog amber.
Hey, we went through the Suburban Home.
Oh, that was...
Oh, that's why it tasted so familiar.
That's why it tasted like Bad Decisions.
Well, Bob's not passed out on his bed again. So.
Note to self.
Well, we have 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4 of us can carry him out of here. We're good.
Note to self: don't ever pass out at your own party.
Can we get a...
We actually didn't talk about that last week because
good.
But let's be so, Bob. Your annual Christmas party, which didn't happen last year because of the new baby, and it was totally understandable, and it is what it is.
I'm sorry, but I throw good game.
You throw one hell of a party,
dude. The word epic usually doesn't do it justice.
But the word Shotsky brings it down.
Well, it was the Shotsky was not the problem.
Actually, it was.
No. The Shotsky was fine. It was the random shots
in between the shots.
Exactly.
Someone brought 140 proof moonshine and thought it would be I said thank you, and I put it on the bar. And then that wasn't good enough for him. He had to go grab said bottle and sit it in front of me and start pouring. And pouring.
I got pulled into it twice.
And pouring. And pouring.
So
I needed a recapper the next day going, how did I get in
what
bed?
happened? Yeah. So Bob.
Well, those pictures still haven't surfaced, have they, Dave?
They better not.
No. How many of them have been memed?
No, so there were 4 of us that helped Bob up to bed.
Like what? It was like 3 flights of stairs, right?
Well, there nowhere in Bob's house does not exist 3 flights of stairs away from another point in Bob's house.
Right.
It's like a goddamn MC Escher painting. If you've never been,
it's true story.
It's a retirement house nightmare.
Oh, it's true story.
Everywhere in Bob's house is 3 flights of stairs from everywhere else.
You get to the top of a flight of stairs and
there's another flight of stairs.
Oh, you should hear like
I just left here.
I had to sign for stuff for UPS because I got an iPad and stuff for my kid, and I hear the door knock, and I'm on the 3rd floor, and I'm like, shit.
Why haven't you installed a dumb waiter yet?
I asked the architect, I'm like, where can I put a dumb? There's no room.
So
Anyway.
we got Bob upstairs, and then I will give Bo all of the credit in the world. She was extremely protective of you. She
was one of the 4.
No, she was not. But it took a lot of convincing to let Dickie and I upstairs to mock you in bed.
I heard. Yeah, I heard he got naked and took pictures of me.
He had his shirt off.
All right, good.
He jokingly was rebuttoning his pants as he walked downstairs just for effect. But yes, he had his shirt off.
Nobody put makeup on me.
No,
you know of.
You didn't look like Kim Jong-un.
Let's be honest. We're all 40 years old. It's not like this is Project X and we're in high school, right?
Your parties kind of usually are.
Yeah, right. This was like catered, had full bar.
Oh yeah, dude. You had Famous Dave's. It was
and Jet's Pizza.
It was proper, and it was just the math didn't add up. That was the problem. Is the amount of alcohol consumed exceeded the amount of food consumed, and there were issues.
I did this on my 40th birthday when I drink normally, I might do a shot every 2 hours.
Yeah.
When it's my house,
it's every 10 minutes.
And everyone comes downstairs that's new. It's how my grandpa did it. It's how my dad did it. It's how my uncles all do it. When you come into my house for the first time, you're like, hey, we're going to do a schnapps.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, hey, oh my God, hey, good to see you. I'm glad you made it.
Let's do a shot.
Let's do a shot.
Yeah.
And when you do that, when 12 sets of people come downstairs in an hour, it doesn't work. So I need to learn.
Pacing.
No, actually,
I don't know how.
No, you don't need to learn because it's your house. You said it yourself.
What I do. It's what I do. And if you haven't, but the 2 year last one, I made it till 3 something.
Right.
And got awoken by a naked woman. But
that
wasn't my wife.
Yeah, that wanted a condom.
Oh, now it's out. The party's over.
Yep. So, anyways,
Eric's never going to tell He's never going to tell anyone he was on this show. He's like,
what show?
Yeah, right. IT and the Who?
The hoo-ha. He brought up labiaplasty. We didn't.
What was that about docking earlier?
Boo. So you were telling a bunch of funny stories actually at the bar, and like data security breaches and stuff. Eric, what's your favorite data security stupid story?
Stupid story. I was at one place that security breach. Oh well, it depends on what you're talking about. I guess.
Let's open it up.
My funniest one is
a
doctor who swore to me up and down. He came to me at first this is when I was getting started. We don't do any personal home stuff anymore, and this is part of the reason why. It was when I was getting started in probably like 1999, 2000. It was a dentist who told me he came up to me. He's like, I don't go to any porn sites. He said, I don't go. Like before I even touched his computer,
lie
he
on
goes,
the internet.
That means
I don't go into any. I'm like, oh, I said okay, and then I started getting in there, and there was just tons. It was like. And you go through the history. I mean, it was blatant where you go through the history.
I don't like Asian young women.
He didn't even try. Well, his thing was it was young Arabic, and it was in the history. And I mean, you can see the search history right there. And then you go to Google, and you're peering around to figure it and be like, listen. And I had to tell him in a very polite way. It's like, look, you got to watch what you go to. I mean, it's all tracked. And I just say this to the guy.
It's like, sir, have a seat.
Yeah, exactly. That was
why don't you have a seat?
Yeah, why don't you have a seat?
I mean, that's the funniest one that I have relating to, that type of stuff.
Did he still vehemently deny it, or was he like, I'm sorry?
No. He just was like, wow. No, he still denied it.
I don't know how that got on there.
I don't know who. Nobody. No, what he kept saying was like, nobody else uses this computer except my wife and I. He kept saying that over and over.
My wife must have an interest in young Arabic girls.
And she was an Arabic girl. But, yeah, that was pretty crazy. The only other one I can think of is, the IT security place that they would tell everybody that they actually took like the security appliance that a place sells. Like, so Cisco makes a security device, other people make security devices. They say what they do. The device does, I do stateful packet inspection.
Yeah.
So this company would say, we do stateful packet inspection live in our office. And then they would tell all the employees to bring in your significant other, bring in your girlfriend, bring in we have some executives coming through. So we get our family members, everybody to come in. They would sit at these desks and pretend they're on the phone and pretend they're on a computer typing numerous stuff, and they have these projection screens up, and they would pretty much act like they're doing a whole like live, like they're mission control, they're launching the shuttle. That's the only other funny one I can think of.
That's why nobody trusts. I mean, how do you trust? You've been like you told me which company this was. We're not going to obviously say who they are, but these guys have been around a very, very long time.
I'm surprised.
And everyone knows who they are, and they're a complete shill.
I don't understand how they get away with it continuously year after year. I don't get it.
Shadow games.
They sell to huge companies.
Shadow games. Well,
It's like follow the peanuts. It's like they're one step ahead of
follow the what?
Somebody's got to come in and let that go.
What about docking?
Exactly.
Yeah. What are you going to do when you got docking? But that's the way it goes, I guess.
No, but they've been around since I've been in the industry.
Really?
Yeah.
How long is that, Bob?
That
18
surprises
years?
me, to be honest with you. Yeah, that surprises me. But it shows we can get by not knowledgeable people, and with this industry, to be honest, for security.
I never pulled back the covers though, but somebody had to once.
No,
nobody
has.
Smell the bullshit.
There's a lot of companies I think that can, but there's nobody that does it, and they want somebody local. But here's the thing: like when it comes to security, I'm of the opinion I want to be upfront and honest. I'll tell you what we do. I'll tell you what we use. We're not going to go and invent a product because There's companies out there who are inventing products daily that do this type of stuff, and we adapt to security. So, like, for example, we used to use a product called Logarithm. I'm not trying to plug anybody, but we use Logarithm. They were great, but Logarithm now, it's called a SIM. It's a security information event management tool. But that's gone because what it was the security, you would have a hook for a fish. And not every fish fits that hook. I don't know how to. This is my analogy.
It makes sense.
This is my analogy.
I get it. Yep.
So we actually adapted and we moved to Splunk, and this is part of my connections with like Homeland Security, Department of Defense. They told me to actually go this route, and they said, "Look, this isn't going to work. This is what works." So we've built a security portfolio around like. Pretty much Splunk is we use syslogs and we use Splunk to look for security events. So we live stream event logs and we figure out correlations to figure out what could possibly be getting in, because people don't just attack your firewall. They attack, your SQL server. They do all different types of attacks.
I saw some stat coming out going, it's not North Korea, it's your internal employees.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and how do you do that? And that's why we teamed up with Cisco. I mean, how I got into this whole industry, I have like 3 people. I mean, I was brought into this industry by an intelligence agency. I was brought in by Cisco, and I was brought in this industry by this guy who is an absolute genius, and he does not get credit for who he is. He actually developed Lotus for IBM in the late 70s. And I started a healthcare company.
That's not a genius.
No, this guy. No. He'll kick my ass. He will kick my ass for saying this. He lives with like 15 cats. He just got married last year. He's like 85. I don't know how old he is. But he developed Lotus. He was under Ray Oz. He developed Lotus for IBM in the late 70s. He's a very underrated genius, but he's like he gets mad. Like if someone crosses him, he gets mad. He's like, I took out a page against Chase on the New York Times because they didn't pay me for a bill. So I took about 1-page ad in the New York Times that said, Chase didn't pay me for this bill. I don't know if it's true or not.
He sounds like my people.
These are the stories that this guy tells me, but he taught me everything. I got a degree from U of M.
$200,000 on a full page ad,
Yeah. I got a degree.
Sounds like my people.
I got a degree from U of M.
I'm your best friend.
I know nothing about IT. This guy taught me pretty much IT from scratch, and I mean that's how I got started from this one guy. And I mean he's like a gray hat hacker. He's between the line, but he could tell you stories that. But you kind of wonder, which the facts and the fiction, But, he taught me pretty much everything I know and brought me into this industry. And, I'm grateful for that. I'm here where I am.
It has its moments.
So you were saying you were building your data center out in the Broderick?
Well, we have a little – so we've had to grow. And, the company actually started in 99. It got shut down in 2004, 2000. We had a couple of customers that were auto suppliers they pretty much went bankrupt. And they pushed us out of business in 2005. It was a sad story. I had to lay off a ton of people. We restarted back up in 2009, I think it was, and have building ever since. But
sounds like us.
I had spent some time at Deloitte Consulting, so I kind of learned enterprise a lot. And what I want to do is bring the enterprise to the small and medium business, but they really can't afford it. So we've been building out a lot of infrastructure in between there to build out things right before we're ready to go to market. 2015 will be our first year to market with our products and services. A lot of the customers we had beforehand were all people who needed emergency services. So we've taken care of those customers, and that's where our revenue has really gained up. But we have we had an office in Dearborn. We've moved out of there. We now moved downtown. We have a headquarters in the Broderick Tower.
So you're not by the gas station that has the Kinder Eggs anymore?
Not anymore, no. We keep that office. No, we do have a field office for our installation tech, so like our wiring crews and stuff work out of the Dearborn office, but it's not a live production really environment. We have a deal with the Screwcraft Community College. We're building a data center out of there that's going to be live in the end of 2015. We're going to have about 160 racks, co-location availability. That's going to be up in the end of 2015.
Does anyone ever go over to you and say, "Hey, man, nice rack"?
Yeah, I wish, but
160 of them. Jeez.
160.
Oh my gosh, 160.
It's relatively small. It's relatively small, but we have
relatively small racks.
Our
168s. These
our niche.
Anything more than a handful.
Our niche is the managed security practice. So we're a boutique firm. I mean, we're going to focus on taking care of your applications, your security, and your data securely. That's what we focus on.
Like that's the one thing we really haven't hit on is like so who should be calling you?
So
like who is your target client?
Our target client's got between 50 to probably 350 to employees. That's really we rounded out is our target base.
So that good like mid-range company that's
they got 1 to 5 IT guys.
Yeah.
And they have just a mess in IT. They don't know what's going on. They don't have an IT budget. Those are the perfect fit for us because we can help them in many different ways, from new products to defining budgets to, handling the help desk operations.
So, Eric, let me ask you this. So, in part of your IT solutions, do you have clients asking you, okay, can you take over our telephones, our desktop support for stuff that's not necessarily Windows or security stuff or cloud stuff, but like older
legacy
tech,
stuff? Yeah, we'll do legacy
like
stuff. The only thing we don't do is legacy PBX systems. We tell them you need to convert to Cisco Collaboration, Unified Communications. We push that heavily because we're such a great partner with Cisco, and we've been for years. But, I mean, mostly, if they have...
I did not pay him to say that, by the way.
He did not, yes. But we do have other references. We have other people we hook them up with if they're stuck with an old system and they can't afford to move something new to migrate. But we do slow migrations, too. We can work with somebody who has a legacy PBX who's getting just raped by their provider, literally, like to do a change to their voicemail box. They're getting charged $800 for the guy to come out.
Right.
We can move them to an IP-based Cisco system and then put everything analog and slowly move them to digital. But, I mean, not digital, IP. But it's a progress.
Sure.
But we can make it work. So give us a ring.
Very cool. Very cool.
Do people still have fax machines?
E-fax, baby.
When I hear, oh, jeez.
That's still a thing.
800 free conference. 800
Yeah.
free conference call. Is that still a thing?
No, it's the party line.
Is that what it is? So, hey,
my sister-in-law, by the way, rang up. I think it was $2,500 on the party line in the 80s or 90s. $2,500.
That sounds like Bob's modem story, where his dad wanted to kick his ass.
It's a famous family story on my wife's side. Party line charges, seriously.
No, we had a freak program that my buddy's brother wrote, and we ran it for like 4 days. So we had like every freak code known to man, so we can call out of 810 BBSs because there was an awesome BBS in the 248, and we would spend hours on it. And my dad got a bill for I think $2,100 after like months of us using it. And that 300 baud modem got ripped out of the back of that PC or that Commodore 64. I can't even call it a PC so fast.
Awesome.
What did you guys have, by the way? I had the app. My parents would not buy me an Apple or a Atari. I got a ColecoVision, and then from the ColecoVision, I got moved up to the Atari.
No, mine was I learned a program.
Not the Atari. I'm sorry, the Atom computer. That was my first computer. And then I had a Buck Rogers video game that was on a cassette tape. I put this cassette tape in and played it, and then I'd write. Yeah. It taught me how to code in BASIC. I'd write like I like coffee, I like tea, I like the girls, and the girls like Lee. That was my first
milk,
program.
lemonade. Yeah.
What
did I learn to program on?
I was banging on the wang.
Yeah.
No,
his parents worked for Wang.
For me, it was a Commodore 64. I learned BASIC on that. Cassette tapes, the whole thing.
You hit
GRS-80.
You hit
I had a VIC-20.
You hit Control Run Stop, and you thought you were a hacker. Like,
Dude, I had a VIC-20. We had the Atari. Like, I went through all the graduated steps of all the nonsense. It was but no, I started with we had an ARPANET connection in the house to a Wang Speed 2 main.
I remember a good buddy of mine had a
Wang.
You had an ARPANET connection to your house.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, my parents were like hardcore nerds.
Here, I thought it was cool. A good buddy of mine had an ISDN line to his house, and I'm like, oh, wow, that's super fast. But you got to remember, I mean, back in the early mid '90s, ISDN was killer.
You couldn't call our house because I would set on redial to like Yogi's Cave BBS, which is my favorite.
Waiting waiting 8 minutes for
Bob,
an ASCII Pamela Anderson boob to render.
Were you dialing into Pontiac or where?
Royal Oak.
Yeah,
and because only one person could be at a time. It was like, imagine if Google only allowed one person at a time. That was my life back then.
Right.
And
it was all of our lives.
There was
back
like
then.
7 BBSs I hit all the time, and like all of a sudden it would ring, and like. It was like the herd church. We'd be somewhere in the house, we'd hear it ring. We're like, "Oh my God!" We'd run into the room, and it would like you'd read 300 baud ASCII, just and you'd go right.
But it was so cool, war games ish.
We played like Empire, like one of the Star.
You got Dysentery.
No, I never liked that one. It was like you played a couple of games and you went on the message boards and you talked crap to somebody, you yelled at somebody, and then you left.
Yep.
It was like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, totally. That's
people don't. Oh my god. Yeah, now you're just making me reminisce.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's AOL.
Oh, that's awesome. But it's the same sound. God, that was my life for 15 years. Wasn't it? Totally.
Oh, when we were 20, when we were 19, we used to get 6 guys in my bedroom, log on AOL, and try to pick up chicks in chat rooms. I'm not kidding, because it was the first time anyone ever saw it. So we're
and it worked.
Oh yeah, the girls are real, man.
Do you remember the first search term you ever hit on Yahoo Search or Alta Vista or anything like that? No.
First, no. Why would I remember that?
GeoCities.
Yeah.
I had my own GeoCity site.
Did you really?
Yep.
You were the one.
Well, hey, we're coming up against a break. We got Jeremiah from Daily Detroit in the house. Hopefully he's not still angry at us. And we'll be right back. This is the IT in the D Show.
Well, yeah.
Live from the Raw Radio X studios in downtown Detroit, this is the IT in the D Show. This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D Show.
And we're back, segment 4, episode 72. This is the IT in the D Show, because we are IT in the D, and you will never be.
Never will
We're
be.
sitting here in the Raw
And
Radio
you never
X
provided
studios.
administrative services to us. You never.
Or tech support
No.
or any sort
No.
of classes or anything like that.
We're sitting here in the Raw Radio X studios. You're not. And we're in the Russell Industrial Center, and you're not.
I'm Chevy
And,
Chase.
And you're not. This isn't Russia, is it?
I thought you were James Spader.
This is Bob the Sales Guy. We're sitting here with Dave the Geek, Jeff the Voice of Reason, Eric from ERSA Group, and we got Jeremiah here, who's been ever since the first segment, you've been a quiet little camper.
Well, I wanted to be appropriate to our guest here, make sure he had the spotlight.
So I feel like as a proper introduction to Jeremiah.
IT in the D presents Real Detroit Heroes.
Real Detroit heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Save Old Detroit activist.
Mr. Save Old Detroit activist.
You've lived in the city for less than a year, but the historical significance of every run-down building in the city is of the utmost importance to you.
Gotta save the buildings.
Even though every cause you have is about resisting change at any cost, you still launch new petitions on a site called change.org. 1, 2, maybe even 4 every week.
Isn't that ironic?
It doesn't matter if the building is falling down, has no structural integrity, or that it rains debris down on passersby and triggers street closures due to hazards, because you know that a backup singer from a one-hit wonder band in 1948 once passed out on a bar stool around the corner, and that's what matters.
History's important.
As you sip Pabst Blue Ribbon tall cans with your hipster friends, you talk about saving neighborhoods, how you should buy that building yourself, or how this house could be restored so easily and be so awesome.
But I don't have a paycheck.
So here's to you, Mr. Save Old Detroit activist. Without you standing in the way, hookers, pimps, drug dealers, and arsonists wouldn't have places to go at night. And that's a public service you can be proud of.
Real Detroit heroes.
Everyone's crying in the studio but Jeremiah.
Well, what you didn't hear is I was actually annotating, making fun of myself throughout this thing, because I totally get it.
No, you one of the dumbest conversations I ever had as a human being.
You were rolling your eyes so much.
Wait, hang on. One of the dumbest conversations I ever had as a human being, like in any facet of life, was someone that was trying to attribute the train station on Michigan Ave with the Acropolis in Greece.
Oh my God!
That was the one and only guest that actually almost walked out of our show before the show even started.
But as if the train station has the historical significance of Acropolis.
I mean, I like the train station all, but no, Acropolis it is not.
No, the train station is not a tourist attraction.
It's the hipster backdrop.
Want to know a secret about train station?
Are you out there?
My grandpa took me there when I was a little kid. His buddy owned it. There's little tunnels that go all the way to Canada. So if you're ever a drug smuggler,
get out of here.
You can go. Yeah, there's like 3 tunnels or 4 tunnels. That
Again,
go all the way to Canada.
Homeland Security.
I know, and nobody checks it. Here's the story my grandfather told me. He said that Coleman Young had some deal with the guy that owned the building, and he would get all these old tires, and he filled the tunnels full of old tires.
Get out.
And then Coleman Young would buy the tires back and use the rubber to patch the holes throughout the city. That was the story I was told when I was...
And that's the first story you've ever heard about rubbers being used in the city of Detroit.
Yes, exactly.
So here we hear stories about Homeland Security shooting a guy running across the bridge or something like that, and yet there's
Really?
tunnels.
There's tunnels
There's
right under there. It
tunnels
goes
underneath.
right to Canada. I don't know what's on Canada's side, but you can walk, because my grandfather took me. You can walk right into the tunnel that goes to Canada. I don't know where it stops or what it does, but you can walk right in that tunnel. I don't know now.
So that's the answer to where we
This
going
was
after the show.
90.
Here we are thinking it was all cool looking for the Batcave in this building.
Right.
To hell with that. Let's go look for...
Download the new flashlight app on your phone. We're going.
I think it's going to be in the new Batman versus Superman movie.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, one of the notable pubs in Corktown, Nancy Whiskey, was known for all of the
That is not a
Tullamore
new
Dew.
pub.
Notable. Notable.
Notable. Oh, sorry.
Not new, notable. It's old as hell.
Damn falling down beer, Jeff.
Tentacles.
Damn it,
NT.
Jeff, listen to me, Jeff, damn it.
NT, huge difference.
Well,
Yes.
you may have slurred your words. I'm not sure.
God bless Jack. But basically, it was the spot to get Tullamore Dew. Crocs at Tullamore Dew before it was distributed here.
Yeah.
During Prohibition, it was a barber shop and an ice cream parlor. Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Joe's Ice Cream. That's where that came from.
Yeah, exactly. Of course.
The Irish need
There's
to
no
get their
way you
haircut
could have gotten
too.
such a liquor thing at Nancy's at the time. Where
Hey,
it was
PBR sold
Digby's.
cheese.
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
I have a wooden box
but yeah,
of
that's
PBR
exactly what
cheese.
they were. Although a lot of that stuff's still there, you'll find stuff. Actually, there's a tunnel tied into the old Shillelagh as well.
Jeremiah, do you remember when Chris Webber was selling his house? There was a pipeline that ran to I don't know if it was Gull Island or some Army Island in Lake St. Clair. That they would go. You'd go to Canada, grab your liquor, go out to this island that wasn't owned by anyone. You dump it in this pipeline, and there was a whole pump system that went to Chris Webber's house when he lived here.
Oh, that's
no,
hilarious.
are you kidding me?
Yeah. No, if you can probably Google it and show that they were saying there's a pipeline that runs to an island. That was like a big selling point.
Kind of like, wait. Just like a bank teller.
Well, they
the-
put formaldehyde in that stuff. Yeah, no, it was like a pump station.
Wait,
yeah.
like you would pour alcohol, or you like put a can in there, like
No.
like
You'd pour the
ATM. It's an ATM.
like an
It was like PVC pipe. I don't know. I didn't build it.
Is it galvanized?
right.
My family didn't come in until the 50s. I don't know what the hell was built here.
Who the hell builds these things? I want to meet these people.
People that made a lot of money bootlegging back in the day.
Oh my god.
So what's going on with Daily Detroit, Jer?
Well, there's some really interesting things. We're having a record month this month, approaching near your guys' stratospheric levels of 200,000 readers. That's I was giving you praise, damn it!
Wait.
I got crickets for giving you praise.
I didn't push the button.
It's a tough night tonight. But one of the stories, although we've had a lot of things that have been really popular, the story I'm most passionate about is making sure that Detroiters have internet access. This is actually birth.
Dude, that story blew my mind. I'm not going to lie to you.
How is it that many people don't have
And don't get me wrong,
access?
dude. Here's the part that like 39% of the households in Detroit can't see the memes that we post on Facebook.
I know, it's
That's
sad,
the part
isn't it?
That's just a felony.
That's the part that makes me
No phone internet, no nothing.
How
no,
is this
nothing.
being solved?
Well, there's a couple of people. There's a couple of groups trying to do something in the legislature to make sure that Greatland, which is going to take over from Comcast, because Detroit's about to lose Comcast as its provider.
Thank God.
That Greatland continues the program. Yeah, and I mean, probably they'll do some other program, but that program's only one option, right? I think there needs to be a lot deeper discussion around not only getting internet to these folks, but showing people beyond your memes. I mean, your memes are amazing. They're amazing. But
he said
jobs.
So the Comcast program that is out, that's no longer going to exist in the city?
Currently, no, unless Greatland announced something different. Because what's going to happen
Who
is
the hell's Greatland?
Greatland is what's taking over
Not
from
a
Comcast
supermarket?
as part of the super merger. As part of the large Time Warner Comcast merger, they've had to spin off about 30 million customers. A bunch of those customers are here in Michigan, right here and in Metro Detroit, and including the city of Detroit. For the purposes of this story, what's important about it is that there's been no definition around if there's going to continue to be a program for low-income school children around getting internet. I know you guys, I was here for that episode.
Right.
Had the guy from Comcast, that really cool program for $10 a month,
Right.
$9.99.
Yeah, that was very cool. We're going to promote that.
Yeah, and currently,
and we did, and then they went away,
and then they went
yeah,
away.
They went away, and so right now, what's happening with
the kiss of death?
Actually, a great guy, Bill Callahan, chimed in on our blog and talked about the fact that Matrix Human Services and another group are actually lobbying the federal government to get them to say, all right, Time Warner had a $15 program, Comcast had a $10 program. Just have some kind of program.
7-minute abs.
Yeah, right. Do something that's affordable for school children. Because right now, 70% of Detroit school children go without internet. And I know that sounds silly, and you're like, oh my God, they need water and food. But you know what?
Those netbooks they gave out so valuable.
Oh, when I found that out with the story, when I went back, I looked like the 30,000 netbooks they handed out that could connect to nothing back in 2012. Thank you, TARP funds.
We have a lot of wireless throughout Detroit that was built out. I don't know if you guys
But it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
It
doesn't work. I live there, dude. It doesn't work. There's no internet there. There's no wireless.
It was just like it's just like the wireless Oakland thing. It doesn't work.
No,
it doesn't work.
You're talking at a different level. You're talking 802.11. We're talking about wireless. It's pretty much line of sight. You can put up a antenna for.
Dude, try telling that to somebody like over on Tireman.
Well, exactly, but you spend
you've got to get that awareness out there.
How do we make that cheap and effective?
Right, it's got to be cheap, it's got to be effective, and the awareness has to get out there, not just that the internet's for Dave's wonderful memes.
It's in the air, though. It's in the air. We just have to figure out a cheap and effective way to capture it.
Well, yeah, cheap and effective, but also connect to it. I mean, what's the monthly service charge on something like that for point-to-point?
It depends on who you're talking to.
Right, but I mean, is it going to be comparable to cable rates or less?
It could be. I mean, it's all about the person in the back end. I know a guy who built out one here. He put an antenna on top of the Rinsen. It can go out, I think, 30 to 50 miles from the Rinsen.
Right. So why couldn't you do something that had at least to start with community hubs to get access and things like that? Because, like the people would chime in on our blog, use the library. Well, I did some research on that. Library's only open 10 to 6, like 5 days a week, and you can only use it for an hour a day. Right. That's all you can do in Detroit. It's only open 10 to 6 for just a few days, and you can only use it for an hour. So, I mean, like, the library isn't a real option.
So, Jared, this story, like the folks, the homes that don't have any sort of internet access, do they have any sort of cable TV? Do they have TV? Do they have any sort of other utility that is accessible to them, entertainment-wise? Is it their choice, or is it not available?
We weren't able to dig. There isn't as much hard data into both of those things. But from
I heard it in the air. I'm just going with it.
I feel like I'm driving a Ferrari right now.
Right. Really? I feel like I'm in Miami right now.
I need to unbutton my shirt.
No, you don't.
Hold on. Everyone unbutton their shirts here.
I gotta get in a phone booth and call my ex-wife.
And Bob wins.
That's a Miami pilot. Sorry.
Right. So anyway, back to the question.
There's two things going on here. I think, number one, you've got obviously an economic issue, but I also think there is a level of, well, what is this? When you're on such a situation where you've got so many bills to pay, and you've got limited funds, what is this going to do? What is this? What kind of doors is this going to open?
Sure.
And I think we actually the digital divide in Detroit is pretty great in that regard.
No, I totally get it. So if a family is in dire straits and they have to make choices, do they put food on the table or do they pay for internet access? I totally get that.
Do we know the optimal cost of that? Of like what would be?
Well, if Comcast can deliver $10 internet and I mean it's not the greatest connection, but it's good enough, right? It's like a slow DSL connection. If Comcast can deliver, now there are issues with connectivity with Comcast as well in the city.
Are we talking 56K?
No, we're talking like a decent DSL connection.
Like 500K.
500K
or meg and a half.
What meg?
I think a meg and a half. Meg and a half.
I think we said it was like 512 minimum. Yeah.
It's more than enough to do email and basic
apply
surfing.
For jobs and learn things online and those kind of things.
You're not going to be watching YouTube, but you can do basic surfing.
As long as the kids were in the free or reduced lunch program, it was $10.
Standard def YouTube you could watch.
Yes, yeah.
You can watch standard def YouTube.
No, but as long as you had kids in your home that were in the free and reduced lunch program, it was $10 a month.
Which is the vast majority.
That was a Comcast program.
My biggest concern is that 70% of Detroit children who don't have internet at home, because the reality is if we want, I saw Nolan Finley's column and I laughed so hard because we're using bars as our metric of involvement in the city, when in fact we need to be talking about much more important things.
He missed the point with that article.
Yeah, exactly. It needs to be about education, opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, all these kids out here, if these, you know, there's Code for America is great and all these things are wonderful, right? But if you don't have internet at your house, how are you going to get to the lessons?
Right.
I mean, you hear
There's
stories.
a fundamental gap here.
Wasn't there the Comcast guy that was here told a story about a girl that didn't she like take 2 buses to go to the library?
Yep.
Like,
for the hour.
For the hour,
Yeah,
I guess, you know, I don't want to say there's a will, there's a way, but this girl busted her tail. You know, obviously you want it to be.
You're allowed to say ass, Bob.
No, I didn't think ass, but what I'm saying is there is opportunity there. Sometimes, I agree. You need to make it easier to get.
Yeah.
Well, let's think about this. My office is Broadrick Tower, okay?
Yeah.
So I got a 1 gig connection to the internet. I throw up an antenna on top of the Broadrick Tower. I provide that out to 30 miles of Metro Detroit. I sell it to $10. I could make a profit.
If you think
Why
you
are
can make
people
it
doing it?
Well, I think people underestimate the
People
amount
aren't
of money.
thinking that.
They don't think
They're
about
not
that.
thinking
You know,
about it.
think about things like the Whole Foods and all these
Well,
other
the bill
businesses that have
pay
done
and
well
all
in
that
the
stuff.
city that nobody thought would do well. People spend money. And in general, African Americans drive a lot farther out to spend their money because there isn't the thing nearby. You know, the Meijer has been so successful, they're buying a second Meijer. Forget Whole Foods and that high-end stuff. Meijer is
going
doing
there.
Well, it's packed. It's doing great. And the Meier's doing great. It's doing so great, they're building a second Meijer.
Where's this?
The Meijer on 8 Mile, and there's a second Meijer that's going to be opened up on the west side over on Grand River, near Grand River.
State Fair was the first one.
Yeah, State Fair was the first one.
Nothing was funnier than at the Dakota Inn Chili Cook-Off when I had to go to that Meijer in full lederhosen regalia.
That was an amazing picture.
I mean, you would have thought...
I saw you that day.
Yeah, absolutely. Later in the day, yeah, but you would have thought...
Was this playing when you walked in?
No, you would have thought we were...
Are you sure?
No. You would have thought we were Illuminati lizard people when we walked in.
You're not?
Or you were just back from a party from Ferndale.
No, but that's a good question. If you got a gig coming into a major building, if you got a gig circuit coming in, why don't people look into?
And there's got to be grants and things, right? If it's about hardware and things
Is there-
like that,
is there- wait,
maybe
is
there's
there- is-
grants for the hardware to be the receivers and things like that.
Is there regulation preventing like Eric's idea? Like,
I don't know
from
if
a
there
business
is,
saying,
but
"Hey,
I think
want to provide this as a
Tolly does that for a
community
living.
service."
Why doesn't Tolly do that? That's what I'm just saying.
But I think people look. I can't speak to Tolly.
Let's get
I
him
can't
back in
speak-
next week.
I know.
I can't speak to specific people, but I think that folks underestimate the opportunity that's in the city of Detroit to provide basic things. You know, like
cutting the grass.
The problem, I think, is...
or I mean, like underwear. You
No,
know, like
no.
I can't buy underwear downtown.
So think about it.
I want to
though.
buy underwear. It
From-
sounds silly, but that's what we need to do.
No,
in
I
Detroit.
totally get it.
Let's do the
You're
basics.
talking about retail.
How often do you buy
But if
underwear?
you think about it from a business perspective, if you're a business and you're only thinking
Christmas?
about your shareholders' value, though, think about the water issue we had. So what's the odds of them paying their
See, I'm not
$10
going to
bill?
lie. Like, that's my concern is this whole internet debate is going to turn into the same debate over water where
I don't think they're in the same
water's,
class.
Water's a basic right. It should be free.
Internet is a
Therefore,
basic
internet is a basic right. It should
right.
be free. No, kiss
And
my
they
ass.
will not pay their bill.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's anywhere near the same
they-
class
so then
of
you
issue.
turn them
I
off.
think they're very separate
No,
issues.
you
The cell
don't.
phone shut off
But
quick.
who doesn't?
I'm willing to take that risk because there's enough Detroit Public Schools children that without water and internet, they've got no hope.
Yeah.
The reality is if we don't get the access, and this is the thing, you guys always talk about pulling people up by their bootstraps. There are no bootstraps in this case. Let's give the kids the bootstraps so that they can do it and get it over the hump, because how can you become a self-made coder or get into this internet world if you're sitting in a dark house?
No,
I'll
it
give
is.
you the
It is.
connectivity.
Well, no, it is. I mean, and that's the hard conversation. And we had this talk with Menachem the last time he was in with the whole Operation Kid Equip thing, where the hardest thing that he does, other than Bob, is.
Did you even need to say that?
I did, because it's so cute, the little crush Menachem has on Bob.
Edit that out, please.
No, but his whole, he tries to look past the issues with the parents to focus on the kids. Like that's his whole essence of being. Like it is. It's
You almost have to.
It's about the kids, not whatever bad decisions the parents are making or whatever they've made or any of that kind of nonsense. And that's challenging.
So, Jeremiah, is a solution then to maybe provide this internet access to the schools first rather than
Schools
the
have
homes?
it.
Well, some schools have it, but it's about getting it outside of those walls, right? It's about making it accessible beyond school hours. It's about if a kid wants to sit down and chow down on programming for 5 hours, they can do it.
Okay, like you said it yourself,
Minecraft.
like the library has it for what, an hour? Are the schools restricted at some point?
I think when you deal with schools, you have some various other issues around security and some things like that. You also have to remember that more than 50% of Detroit, I don't know if it's more, I think it's more than 50%, yes, don't go to Detroit public schools. They actually go to charter schools. Detroit public schools is no longer the predominant district in the city.
So do the charter schools have better internet access?
Depends on the school. Right? So charter schools have not been a universal success. There are some that are really, really wonderful like UPrep, okay? Then there's others that have just been in the tank and actually worse than Detroit public schools because there's no standard set.
Yeah, my wife has taught at 2 charter schools in Detroit, and I can tell you firsthand that it's a mistake. They need to go back to straight up public schools in one district controlling them all. It's run like a corporation. They run things straight up like a business. They care about profits and bottom line. They do not care about education.
So what's wrong with competition as far as
I'm on that side.
Wait, just playing devil's advocate as far as like is it like low enrollment because they don't have funds coming in?
I think
they're not
they
as good,
get good
or
enrollment actually. Okay, so my wife, she was a kindergarten teacher. Now she's actually at Dearborn School. She loves it. She's a second grade teacher.
Okay,
it's a different environment and she loves it. But before that, when she was at the charter schools in Detroit, it was about creating it to me from an outsider. It seemed like it was creating some type of like elite, sophisticated, like, oh, we were, we dress up. It's almost like I went to Catholic schools. It was like,
as did I,
kind of treating like it like
it's like a private school.
But I think at the end of the day, though, it's
yeah.
not about private school. It's about the fact that there actually wasn't set minimum standards
exactly.
for what those charters were supposed to do, and they're let slide, and there's been multiple lawsuits.
Yes.
And only recently has the state superintendent stepped in to do anything about it. Okay, because these charters were just given blank carte blanche with, it's going to be fine without a floor. When it comes to the education of our children, we need a floor.
And the board of directors would get just their pockets full, and that was it. That's usually what ended up.
And so this internet question comes down to maybe we need to empower community centers at first. Maybe we need to create, get people on the ground. One of the things. So Dave Anderson, he's been a guest on the show before. We were talking about this, and he's been doing some outreach on 7 Mile. In Woodward, deep into the neighborhoods. And one of the things he's found is like people don't even there's not even the gap sometimes of, well, wait, what can I really do with this? What can this access me to? Not even the idea that this is part of what gets me onto the next step. There's such a huge learning gap there, and we've got to cross it. Otherwise, all the other stuff that we do of hiring a few more servers at Hopcat is not going to do anything to the core issue. That is not the problem. Hopcat is not the problem.
No.
But the problem I'm talking about is hard. It's difficult. It's difficult to talk about. But this is the problem we have to solve if we don't want Detroit of 2025 to look like Detroit of today or Detroit of 20 years ago.
But this is the conversation we were having earlier, Jeremiah, and this is where it gets complicated, is at what point do those conversations with the folks in the neighborhood who don't understand the big picture and through no
some
fault,
folks don't, right?
Well, through no fault of their own, they don't get it, they're not clued in. At what point in time do you stop banging your head against the wall and say either follow me and queue up because I'm going to show you the way, or STFU? Like when
it comes to children, I don't believe in stopping. I just don't.
No,
it hurts.
You can't stop with kids. I don't think Dave was talking about kids.
No. What I'm saying is that if you got to start the program and make it go, you start the program and make it go, even if it's by yourself with 5 people. I think to bring access, to bring people up, to bring especially African Americans into the tech scene. This is what it takes. This is what it's going to take. It's going to take this start. It's going to take this start level on the bottom level to make this go, and it's going to take 10 years for the results to happen. But that's WebWord will stop at Grand River I like Dan Gilbert's idea of Wedward. That's great and all that other stuff. But Wedward stops at Grand River, wherever the M1 rail stops.
Dan Gilbert's got great ideas for.
Well, that's what I was about to say. It's like, why don't we get Dan Gilbert in here and like look at building out. Look out building out. Well, not in here, but I mean, let's look at
please.
I don't want to lay all the fault at him because he's a real estate guy. That's not his. But I'm always nervous to like say it's always got to be one guy who's got to fix it.
Bring in some tech guys to build out a LAN infrastructure for wireless for Metro Detroit. At least for not Metro Detroit. Okay, for core city Detroit. Like go a little bit outside of there. It's not you spend more money fixing up flowers in a park. I mean, come on.
Well, and there's some things that can be done. So there actually is some technology on some of the new street poles, including Shot Spotter, where police can actually hear like gunshots and things and triangulate it. Sometimes there's cameras on those things that I learned. And one of the things that could be done then, if there's all this technology on these light poles, why not something like that? Why not add that onto it if that makes sense?
Well, we have cameras on Woodward. I mean, we have. If you're on Woodward from the river all the way,
you can't miss them. You can't miss them.
They're just all the way up into the Fox Theater. You're on facial recognition. If you walk off of there, I don't, maybe I'm saying something.
Which is
have. But
no, I've been in.
No, we've talked about from Homeland Security, and I need to actually arrest you right now.
Suite.
So I mean, that's what Quicken Security Suite told me, but. You know, that's the thing. I mean, let's spend some of that money to go outside of core Gilbertville. And let's go outside of there.
Gilbertville.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And all the who's down in Whoville.
Exactly.
And let's be focused. And maybe we won't hit everybody at
you
once.
Don't want a
but
monorail.
maybe
That's more a
we can do that.
idea.
Yeah, right.
One neighborhood at a time.
No, it's good conversation. Obviously, we're not doing it any justice by cutting it off right now. We could do this, talk about this for days, literally. Jeremiah, you're going to
Are you trying
back.
to end the damn show?
Yeah. It's time.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. No, it should be cut off.
Jeremy,
but
no,
thank you for the space to talk about it.
Actually, you know what? I want to invite Tolly back next time I have Tolly back because he does Zing Wireless.
Tolly back, girl.
I want to have you guys talk about
Yeah, I'm sure he
conversations.
experienced things on the ground that
he's been doing it for 15 years, and he's got great insight into this. I'd love for you guys to hash that out.
We should just turn our mics off and let you guys have at it like a cage match.
Well, no, I think people. I know he does good. I know he does really good stuff. Yeah. I also know that there's, from experience dealing with the city, there's always challenges dealing in neighborhoods that have a lot of issues.
There's a huge footprint in the city, and there's a lot of politics. Let's not ignore
that.
Obvious.
And it's also giant. I mean, it's 139 square miles. Yeah. That's a huge area. That's bigger than some countries.
Hard enough to get the street lights on.
Yeah, it's Boston, Manhattan, and San Francisco combined.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, hey,
unreal.
On behalf of myself, Bob, Dave, and Jeff, I just want to wish everybody out listening a very, very happy New Year and a prosperous 2015. We appreciate the ongoing support you've given to us this year. We've gone from 4,000 listeners in January 14.
Dude, I'm not going to lie. We didn't even get into that. Like, our first episode this year, we had 4,408 listeners was our first episode this year.
And last week was 197,000.
Sincerely,
just on SoundCloud.
Honestly, thank you all for listening. It's just been incredible. It's been a wild ride.
I'm glad the show kept me from getting like weepy and emotional because seriously,
wow,
dude, it's fun. It's wrong. It's wrong on so many levels.
Again, I keep emailing Bob and Dave. Who are you people?
No, I mean I put on Facebook how lucky and grateful honestly this year's been to me.
Yeah.
This has been the most fun. I never thought I was a radio guy, right? I don't consider myself a radio guy to this day, but the fact that we do this and the fact that it's working, I never considered this to ever work.
People freaking
I just thought we were recording bowling night and giggling.
Yeah.
And
we were happy with 4 listeners.
And we struck a chord.
We thought like our wives and like one friend listened.
Right. but I think our wives stopped listening a long time ago.
But honestly, for me personally, 2014 is probably one of my favorite years of my life. I'm not going to lie. And this is a huge part of it.
Well, and dude, we blew up St. Andrews. We blew up the Majestic.
Right.
It's you can't get, dude, in this town, you can't get much better than that. I mean,
no.
Like the day we take over something like Kobo or like Joe, shoot me.
But not only that,
No.
Dave, look what we did with XICW, filling up a huge banquet hall, and kind of retransforming pro wrestling in Detroit,
local business.
It's right. To me, we look at those things and we stand in the back and we're like kind of like proud of like, what we built, and this is a huge piece of it.
Dude, IT and the D is my third kid. I mean, it's like I've said that, dude. I've said that for years. Like this, what this group is and what it's become, and all that fun nonsense. I mean, it's.
What started as your excuse to have a drink with me
because my first wife hated you.
For good measure. But no, it's not saying we have an impact, but hopefully, in some way, shape, or form, this is actually, filling a void or.
Dude, we've helped over 1,000 people find jobs.
Yeah, but I'm talking for the show. Like, if
dude,
it makes
Charlotte, the Mishworks equivalent in Charlotte, North Carolina, uses our presentations.
Are we going to start crying?
We may.
I'm not sure.
Or I'll put in the air tonight.
I can't tell you guys though. I mean, how many times I hear from people the difference that you guys make. You guys are you guys are the. It sounds stupid. You guys are the guys when it comes to IT and technology. You've changed lives, and people know it.
Thanks, man. It's crazy.
We never intended for that to happen.
No, dude, it still comes, and we tell the story every single guy.
And I'm happy that we can.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way.
Dude, every single speaking engagement that we've had, every talk we've given, everything we've ever done, we still tell the same story. Is, people come, like, okay, you don't get kickbacks from bars, you don't get, you don't charge, admission fees to come to your events, you don't get kickbacks from the recruiters, blah, blah, blah. What do you get out of it? And it comes down to that one guy who showed up at the Blackfin event after our second pink slip party that was over at Commune. And he walked in, and it was like 4:15. He was a little early. And, went into the whole, hey, what can I do for you? Who you're looking for kind of shtick. And he said, no. I was at your pink slip party last month at Commune. Oh, great. Well, what'd you think? And he said, I'll tell you what I think. He said, I'm actually stopping by here after I just left the recruiting company's office. I just signed the job offer that I got from making a contact at your pink slip party event. And he said, I'm going to be making more money than I've ever made before in my life. I was out of work for 8 months. You just saved my house. You probably saved my marriage. I just wanted to stop by, shake your hand, buy you a beer, and say thanks.
Wow.
Do you remember...
Dude, that's cool shit.
Listen, you guys need to stand up and take a bow. Honestly,
you're the helicopter sound. It's us petting ourselves
You
in the back.
raised me up!
But
how appropriate with the new Michigan coach.
At my Christmas party, Marisa came downstairs and she says, you remember Matt Elward?
Dude, that was hilarious.
And she says he's still at ITC and he saved his
He
house.
talks about you guys. All the,
Yeah.
And we're like, I remember the name, but yeah.
Oh, I totally remember it because I got engaged in that one. But to me, it wasn't a big deal. You know what I mean?
It's what we do.
Right.
That's
but
the point.
The fact that made such a profound impact on that guy's life, and really all it was making a phone call for us.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we didn't plan on this. It just kind of happened, which I'm kind of forever thankful for.
It is what it
I'm
is.
not going to lie.
Yeah.
Well, and at the end of the day, it and here's the sad reality. It's what I keep coming back to. We keep saying we don't know. The scary part to me is we don't know what brought everyone here, and so we don't know what's going to make everyone go away.
So we're just going to keep doing the same thing over and over.
But it's not. At the end of the day, it's not about us. I mean, dude, we couldn't have that impact if it weren't for the recruiters that show up at our events, if it weren't for the companies that come and hire people. We couldn't have put 1,000 people in jobs if it weren't for the people that were coming to our events and putting those people
100%
in jobs.
true. Absolutely.
I think it's way more than 1,000 at this point. I think we're undershooting it.
Well, but it's the ones we know
That's
about.
fine, though. I'd rather undershoot it at this point.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, dude, it's ridiculous, and it's as an egotistical, arrogant, and I want to drop an F-bomb right there, but I won't. But as me being who I am, and as you knowing me, for the past 20 years, every single one of our events and every single conversation is so goddamn humbling with people. Like, even the simple stupid stuff, running into the girl who said, I talk back to you, while you're doing your podcast.
I'm shocked every time I hear something.
Dude, that's dude.
What Mel said.
Dude, you ran into somebody at you ran into somebody at Muldoon's.
Oh yeah. He's
random guy at
It's 1 a.m. I'm drunk at my corner bar.
Shocker.
And a guy sits next to me, and I met him a while ago. He goes, "Hey, man, IT and the D." He goes, "Honest to God, you're like a freaking legend." He goes, I got to buy you a drink." And I'm like,
"Did you know this guy?"
No. I remember meeting him a long time ago, and I'm just like,
how did he even know about the show?
I don't know.
No. Dude, one of the security guys at wrestling.
I know. I heard this.
Walked up to us and was like, "Dude, you guys are awesome." Called out in the middle of a giant-ass meeting. Now, it is what it is. I mean, it's...
But I know the intern Pool at Chrysler was listening to us at one point last year.
At the end of the day, it's been one of my favorite years alive as a human being, and this has been a huge part of it, and I just want to cheers you guys.
So, I mean, at the end of the day...
2015 being...
Because you don't tell us, we don't know who you are.
It's all right.
We don't know why you're listening, but thank you.
More than thank you.
2014's been friggin' awesome. 2015 is going to be even better.
You have no idea. But honestly, I love you guys very much, and I look forward to 2015 being phenomenal.
Bro,
thank you, Jeremiah, for your support and everything you've done for us as well.
Cheers.
And
Thanks
cheers.
for having me.
This is no, you get the hell out of here. In fitting notion, this is the last episode of 2014 of the IT and the D Show. Look forward to fun, happy goodness in 2015, and
bigger and better things are.
And let's get the hell out of here and go see DJ Assault.
The emergency destruct system is now activated.
Dear Mr. Vernon, we accept the fact that we had to sacrifice a whole Saturday into...
The emergency destruct system is now activated.
Look out, Flash!
Flash! Don't move! Stay where you are!
Long live Flash! You've saved your Earth. Have a nice day.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name? Murphy.
Make the run. The run.
Game over, man. It's game over.
It's over, Johnny. It's over.
Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off. Yo! Hold up! Time out! Time out! Y'all take a chill. You need to cool that shit out. And that's the double truth, Ruth.
I hope this was as much fun for you as it was for me.
How much scotch did you drink that night, by the way?
Half a bottle.
Okay, then shut the hell up.
You're in your underwear? I'm in my underwear. Here, let's hang out.
No, I'm sorry, honey. I have a headache.
I definitely want to see Bob in his underwear. That's a fact.
Bear me.
Why would, Buick put their cars next to, the Bentleys? Why? That's not marketing.
The alphabet.
It's brilliant. Because you're getting your 8-track tuned up. Are we at a break yet?
I may have to wipe the geek off. I can't say no, and I don't really want to.
Well, especially with the back doors open. We just lost our clean tag on iTunes. So you have no boots? No. You have no gloves? No. You have no hat? No. You have no scarf? No. You have no scraper? No. How long have you lived in Michigan? All my life.
You, sir, are an idiot.
I don't care.
When are we going to talk about me?
Jane, you ignorant slut. Woo!
This is the native man.
Guess Captain Soundboard doesn't know how to run the soundboard.
Shut up. Stop talking.
You're so white right now.
I'm the whitest guy in the room. Just explain it to me.
I love this city. I was banging on the wang.
Really? Should we talk about this? Tag team it. Should I keep going or should I stop?
Hell yeah.
Can I just say, it's been great being on a show that talks about Mickey Rooney dying for 20 seconds and then poop for 10 minutes.
You're not very informative, but wow, are you entertaining.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D Show.